What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to a Blazers Uprise Live and Believe in Blazers crossover. We got my guy Stephen Vaughan on a live stream, which I always wanted to do this with you because I thought it would be fascinating. But now is the perfect time to do it because Eric's vacationing, enjoying his life. We played a 1v1 game, which we're probably going to spoil and talk a little bit about because I have a couple of questions, especially regarding your tweet afterwards. And we'll also talk about how Dame spoke but didn't speak, and had an interview but didn't really say much because he didn't want to. And that's going to be fun to talk about. And then, we'll just hang out with you guys, chat. Light stream today, just going to hang out, talk some Blazers basketball, maybe get into a couple debates. If you've seen Believe in Blazers, you know how it gets with me and Steven. Anyway, Steven, how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. First of all, okay, I'm just going to address this now. Tori beat me. I'm not happy about it. But I'm not... Tori was better than I thought he would be. I didn't know that you were going to be that good. I'll be honest. I knew you could
what was
shoot.
I better at specifically? Because I want you to expand upon what I'm good at,
Just kind of everything, dude. I knew you'd be quick. I knew you could shoot. You're just a little better than I thought you'd be at everything. I wouldn't say you were great at anything, but you're kind of all-around player. So I thought you were a little better than I thought you'd be. And, yeah, I do. I mean, you beat me, so I'm not surprised you beat me because like I said in my tweet, I haven't played. I played once in 11 months, one competitive game of basketball in 11 months. I don't work out. I don't run around. When I do play, I play on my little kids' hoops. I don't shoot. So I wasn't surprised I lost.
You just body your kids on a.
I do, man. I try to.
Hoop.
You gotta teach it. You gotta teach it to be tough. But so I'm not surprised I lost, but I was really pissed that I lost. I'll be honest. I was pissed, and I want another chance. And I know you're gonna duck me because you want to.
No, I'm not gonna duck you. I'll beat you again. Get in shape so that we can.
Hey,
I'll feel even better.
For a guy that's shot 4 times in 11 months on a regular hoop, I could shoot a little bit still.
That's the thing that surprised me because, Steven, when we've talked about playing before, it's been, I just use my body and bully people in the paint. I just go to the rim and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, this dude probably isn't much of a shooter. And then he comes out and hits 2 NBA range threes. What the hell? You posted that video on Twitter, and I said this to you during the game. The video, you just hit 1 basic 3 and then acting like it was good. I was like, I saw that video. I was like, oh man, this dude is, he's not, I just got to worry about not getting bullied in the paint. Because, for as little as you play basketball, it's not I don't know, maybe you are losing muscle, but you're pretty damn strong. So,
yeah, no, dude, I've always been strong, but now I have the dad strength. I mean, I'm 36, so I'm old, dude. I can kind of just muscle you down. I mean, that's the thing. When I was good, I was quick and I was strong and I could shoot and I could finish. I will say, Tori, I missed a bunch of chippies inside, and I went back and I rewatched some of the clips when he posted it on YouTube. I could have got you. First game, I hit 2 threes. I'm up 6-0. I got a rebound, ran out to the corner, pump fake, got you, missed the reverse layup. And at that point, I remember thinking, damn, dude, I needed that layup. I needed the layup, and I missed it. It would have got me up 8-0. Would have really got your confidence down real low, and then you go and you hit a step back 3 on me. So,
no, my confidence doesn't get low being down. I like a challenge, Steven. I was a little bit worried, oh no, 6-0. Then it's. You know what started to creep into my head? I was like, what would Eric say watching the video right now? How is our next stream going to go if this is really how this is going to go? So, I better step up and start making some threes. And then I hit 4 in a row. Then we were chilling.
I see the energy warning saying 38 or 36 ain't no excuse. Nah, dog, it's an excuse, bro. That's my excuse. I mean, dude, I will say though, it gave me the juice, man. It gave me the juice to start playing, at least again for a little bit. I really thinking about it. I would love to get another chance, maybe just to get another run at you. I don't even need to record it this time. That's the thing, Tori. If I play you again, we won't record it, and if I win, I won't even say anything. You'll be the Blazers media champion for the year, unless Danny Moran can beat you. But I don't know.
Oh man, yeah.
I heard he could dunk one time. I was on the radio when he said he could dunk once, so watch out.
I will not say what's on my. I'm not going to say anything. So no, I'm down to record it again. I'm cool. You beat me. Here's the thing: is yes, you're 36, but I don't know. Eric was like, "You gotta be Stevie. You gotta be Stevie. He's 36. He doesn't play. You play." You were legit. There's a reason I put And what'd you think about this tag too, by the way? The JUCO legend tag in the thumbnail.
I tell you what, I'm a NWAC champion. You know, CCC, NWAC champion, first team all league, all tournament team. So I mean, I'm no slouch. I was a baller.
Yeah, if you beat me, I was gonna have to list your whole resume before the game.
And I would have given you my resume too. But no, that's the thing, dude. I mean, it was all fun, man. I will say though, Tori, you were better than I thought you'd be. So I'll give you a little props there.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So we have a guy in chat. This guy is the most polarizing member of our chat, Steven, just to educate you on the chat a little bit. Gray Hughes Investigate said, it was funny. When I was watching, I was thinking I could have smoked both of them when I was 25 to 35, but we will never know. Gray, how old are you? By the way, since I'm curious. But yeah, Gray is our resident Dame criticizer. So, I guess we're in the same boat as Dame right now. Anyway,
that's the thing, actually, dude. It sucks to be like, oh yeah, Dame's 33. It's like I'm like 3 years older than that guy. He's just in shape all the time, working out, making millions. Look at me, I'm just talking to Canzano all day. It's like, man, damn.
The last year or so, I feel like my legs are slightly starting to go, and it's like, no, wait, I'm 27. I'm supposed to be entering my prime, but yeah, I don't know. I've felt sluggish, especially lately, man. So I had a rec playoff game the day after we played, just so sluggish. And here's the one thing: is that gym was 100 degrees?
Had to be, dude.
Had to be. That gym was extremely hot. Watching it back, the first play or two, we played hard and we looked quicker, and then the rest of it we just looked dead the entire time.
Well, even the shot you hit, you posted a shot where I hit a deep three, then you hit the step back three. I played good defense on that one. I got a hand up, I was on you. And that was one of the first plays of the game. And then after that, I was done. I could not move because it was just so hot and I was just so tired. But I mean, that gym's sick though. Just
Dude,
for everyone who knows, that gym that we played at, it's on this guy's property. That's his. He has it in his backyard, basically. So it's just sick, though. But so shout out to him at the secret facility that we played at. But no, dude, that's the thing, dude. We looked good at the start. At least I thought I looked okay. I could move a little bit. Then I was just done. I just telling my kids to go get me more water, and didn't help.
Yeah. So my leg was hurting for 3-4 days afterwards as well. That hurt. That play ripped through. It wasn't even that bad, but it's just knee on quad is the worst.
Oh, dude, I felt bad. I felt bad that I did that. I didn't mean to, but I don't know. It's not that I meant to, but it's not that I didn't mean to either. I didn't mean to hurt you. I meant to foul you. I meant to foul you, but we just, unfortunate there.
It was one of those things where I was like, I feel like I'm not lowering the shoulder enough and just trying to beat you to the angle. So that play, I really tried ripping through, beating you to the angle. Immediately regretted it. Regretted it.
You got me though. You got me. You were too quick, man.
Oh man. So we'll run it back. Maybe we'll get a 2v2. I want to see you and Eric go at it. Because you won't have the age excuse. He'll have the age excuse. So
I know. That's a game where Eric, because that's the thing, Tori. I think I'm 6'2", I'm a legit 6'2". You're 6'3.5", man. You're 6'3", 6'3". You're much taller than me, and you got long arms. It's tough to get inside on you, and I know with Eric, he's gonna be huge too. So I would just have to keep shooting even deeper threes, and that's all I would do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Eric's 6'6". He makes me look small.
Yeah.
People truly don't believe that I'm 6'4".
I will say I legit 6'4". I was talking to my wife about it. I was like, she's asking for the scouting report for, and I'm like, yeah, Tori's got me age, athleticism, height. She's like, oh, he's not taller than me. I'm like, yeah, dude, he's legit taller than me.
And your kids, their commentary was made for an even better video, I thought. Well, it was hilarious listening back.
You were dribbling one, and my youngest goes, Tori, you smell like poop. And I'm like, oh, man, that's not good.
So I had listened to it back 5 times and couldn't understand what he said, and then I finally got it. I was like, damn. I mean, I probably did, as I should have. It's 100 degrees, and your kids are savage, and that was right at the start of the game, so gave me a little bit of made me a little angry.
I'm gonna blame them now. I'm blaming them for the loss. They motivated you.
There you go. So anyway, and then shout out to your wife for filming, stepping up. I have a DSLR camera that I put a memory card in. I thought I'd be able to record the whole thing, just fresh memory card, and didn't even make it through one game before it was full. So that was kind of strange, but yeah, no, it was fun, man. I'm glad to finally do it. The people wanted it, so it was fun. I would love to get like legitimate runs because I feel like I'm a better team player than a 1v1 guy. Like
you definitely are forward. Because you could you definitely can drive and kick. Like you can tell that's what you like to do.
Yeah. So
like I would some
shooting, we're good.
Yeah, I would say your finishing isn't your best quality for sure. Like you can shoot the ball, you can dribble, you can get to your spots, but like your finishing, I would say, is probably one of your weaker spots on offense. Maybe I'm just guessing, but
inconsistent. Yeah.
Sometimes
I try and get a little too creative. So I don't know, but I try and have creativity to my game because growing up, it was always you're good because you're tall. So from a young age, I was like, I want to prove people that I'm not just good because I'm tall. So I always tried to be a little creative with how I played. Didn't want it to just be, being taller than everyone. So
yeah, that's kind of what I did. I just was too tall, and so that might never translate in my game. And it was just like, hey, Steven, use your height and try to bully people. So that's all I ever do. I never really have moves.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Dame. So you love talking about Dame, don't you?
I'd love it.
You just absolutely love it.
It's one of my favorite things to do, talking about Damian Lillard, and when he talks and doesn't say anything. Like, what he should have just not even had an interview.
So, in case you guys aren't on social media today or aren't paying attention today, he had an interview with Bobby Marks, I believe it was.
Mark Spears.
Mark Spears, yeah, and some sort of Mark. I knew it was a Mark. Mark Spears, that's right. And he was asked about the Blazers, and he said, I don't want to speak on the Blazers. Then he was asked about a trade request and said, there was indeed one. I'm paraphrasing. Basically, there was indeed one, but I don't want to talk about the Blazers. And then there is an interview about other stuff. He said he wanted to win a championship, which, of course, whatever. Like, it was basically just a bunch of nothing. And, I don't know, man. You're not going to hear Dame say anything. Especially after Harden gets fined $100,000 for calling Morey a liar. Which, what are your thoughts on that, by the way? Because I hate that he got fined $100,000. Like, I think that's stupid.
I mean, yeah, it is stupid, but I also think, like, I don't know. James Harden, man, that guy bothers me because, like, I know he's helped him out with the contract and stuff, but at the same time, like, to act like Daryl Morey hasn't had your back your entire career is wild. And then to just be like, you're a liar because you want out and nobody wants you. Like, that's your fault for being out of shape and sucking in Game 6 and Game 7 of the playoffs. Like, if you're good, someone's going to want you, but nobody wants you that contract. So I don't know, man. It's whack that he does it, and it's kind of, it's whack that he gets fined for it. And so I get why Dame doesn't want to talk about it, but at the same time, like, just with Dame, there was always like a question with me of like, does he actually want out? Is it like, what is going on here? He's not saying anything. All I want him to say is, Tori, I just want him to say, the Blazers didn't put a championship team around me, or they couldn't put the help around me, so I requested a trade. That's all I want him to say. And he won't say it because I think he's afraid of the PR, and it'll be bad PR for him. When in actuality, I think like 80% of Blazer fans will be like, yeah, we get it, because we've been a part of it too, and we've seen this at, the GMs can't put the roster around you, so we feel you on this. But at this point now, it's just like he just keeps avoiding everything, and it's just putting everybody in a bad spot. Like, I think Dame has gone about this whole trade request so bad, man. It's just bad.
I think, and this is just my speculation, my guess, I think he is somewhat worried about pissing off the Blazers to the point where they will not trade him to Miami, even if that's the best package on the table. I don't know. I don't have a problem with it because there's nothing for him to gain by saying that. It's not like he's going to get anything out of that. I hope that he speaks up after he gets traded, because I still think he's going to get traded. I hope that he goes on the record and just lays it all out, because we haven't really gotten to hear his side of things. And that's what I want.
That's on him, though. He's got to just say it, man. He's had plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, but
he just does cryptic tweets and cryptic Instagram posts.
But here's the thing, Steven. Like, you know what I and what Eric thinks happened in this entire situation, what we've heard. If he was to go out and lay that all out on the table, I feel like it wouldn't be a good business decision. I feel like it would be smart not to piss off Joe, not to piss off Jody, to try and keep things civil, at least as civil as they are right now, until he's able to get what he wants. Because I don't see there being any good for him coming out of just laying it all on the table. So I don't think he can give his side of things right now.
Do you think, from the Blazers' perspective, like, because they can obviously trade him right now if they wanted to. They could get a package back. It doesn't matter what it is. We've had this theory on the Bald-Faced Truth with John Gonzano, and he knows people that know Burt Cold and Jody Allen. He says that they don't want to look stupid. Like, they want to be like, we're the smart business people. And his story always is like, Paul Allen walked into a draft room once, and Burt Cold had walked in 5 minutes before, asked the scouts who they like. They named off like 2 people, and he's like, okay. So Paul Allen walks in and said, yeah, who do we like? And Burt Cold pops off and says, this guy and this guy. Like, he wants to take the credit and look smart. Do you think that, like, that has any factor in this? The fact that they haven't traded Damon, haven't given into what exactly he wants?
Oh, definitely.
Because Burt's such an egomaniac.
I mean, if you just look at this logically, we've talked about this. What are they going to get back that's better than the Miami package, assuming that Miami is laying it all out on the table, which maybe they're not, but you always have to wonder how much of it is kind of like a PR thing, how much of it is Portland trying to drag things out to make it look like they're, being smart, waiting for Miami to give up that better package. I don't know. It's just such a mess, especially if this organization is caring so much about PR, which I think they are. There was a trade today, a Pelicans trade idea, where the Blazers got back 3 Pelicans first, a Dyson Daniels, and then filler. Norman Powell was one of the guys coming back. I saw some Blazer fans saying they wanted to do that, but I think that trade package is much worse than 4 firsts from Miami, 2 of which would be in 2020, 2028 and 2030, which they might be really bad by then because that'll be after Jimmy Butler and Dame are gone. Of course, they could retool. Like, we don't know. They could retool and be a contender. They might suck. There's a chance that they could suck, and those picks could be really good to pair next to a 24-year-old Scoot Henderson and a 25-year-old Shane Sharp. Like, that's basically the dream. There's upside to that deal. Whereas if you're taking the Pelicans package, those 3 picks, I mean, they're all going to be late 20s because they're younger. Even as Dame ages, you got Herb Jones, you got Trey Murphy, you got Zion. Maybe he gets healthy at some point. You still got Brandon Ingram. Like, that would still be a good team 4 or 5 years down the line. And those picks are earlier. So those picks to me are guaranteed to not be in the lottery if they add Dame to that roster. So my whole problem is every other trade idea I've seen isn't better than what Miami's given up. And it just comes down to, like, do you really think you're going to be able to extract more? If not, then why are you waiting? And it just comes back to kind of a PR thing for me.
Well, what is the hurry to trade him? They have him under contract for what, 4 more years? Like, what's the point? Like, if Dame doesn't want to play for the Blazers, he can just sit out and they don't pay him. Like, there's no incentive to hurry up and trade him now. Like, we all know what the future of the franchise is. It's Scoot Henderson, it's Shane Sharp. Like, it's those guys. There's no question about it. It's even Anthony Simons. Like, that's who they're out there promoting right now. It's not Dame. And so I don't think like the Blazers are in any hurry to trade him because there's no point to it. They have him for so many years. And guess what? If he wants to just hold out and not play and they don't get an offer they like, that's Dame's fault for signing that contract, man. Like, he didn't have to sign that extension. He did because he wanted the money.
I mean, he did also under the pretenses that they would build around him, and they didn't. So he signed that under what are now pretenses that don't exist. They're under false pretenses. So I hate bringing up the contract.
But he was also never going to not sign that contract because of the money. Like, it's just, that's what he wanted. He
also would have gotten the same money anywhere else.
Right. That's the whole loyalty thing to Portland. He's not loyal to Portland. He's loyal to himself to earn this money. And it just happened that he got drafted by the Blazers. If he was drafted in Sacramento, he would have been loyal to Sacramento and stayed there as well. Like, it's not Portland that he's loyal to. It's loyal because they gave him $500+ million, man.
I mean, but you could say that about any situation, right? Like, if you're a married man and you find your wife, right? But, what if you didn't go to the grocery store that day, right? You wouldn't be loyal to her because you never would have met her. So that's the thing with the Blazers.
LeBron went to the Heat, he took a pay cut. Durant, when he went to the Warriors, he took a pay cut.
How much of a pay cut did KD take?
They took a pay cut because they wanted to get out. They wanted to go somewhere else. Dame obviously didn't care.
We're basically splitting hairs on like a couple of $1 million, if I recall correctly. Yeah. Nothing substantial, especially if you're going to Florida. Like, they have some of the most lax tax laws, right? So who knows if he was giving anything up.
All I'm saying is, Tori, basically, like, if he doesn't want if he didn't want to be in Portland so bad, and he really wanted out, he should never sign that contract.
The contract to me is completely irrelevant because he didn't want out when he signed the contract, and he thought they were going to build around him when he signed the contract. They misled him. Right? Like, they chose the scoop path, and, I think we both agree on that. Like, they chose the scoop path, right? Dame didn't think that they were going to choose his replacement within 2 years to sign that contract. Because everything Joe Cronin was saying was, we're obligated to build around Dame. We're obligated to push all our chips in. There's nothing I want more. We're motivated, blah, 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 blah. And if he was saying that publicly, I'm sure he was saying all that and maybe more privately to Dame. So that's why the whole contract thing to me, especially considering he could have made the same money elsewhere and given the false pretenses I believe he signed that on, that's why I think the whole contract debate is just completely irrelevant to discussing Dame's, loyalty or how Dame's handled the situation or what he should and shouldn't have done, because there's different context to the situation when he signed it. But I mean, Dame could have easily left earlier. He didn't. I think he truly tried to make it work as much as he could until it really, came to a head with the Scoot thing.
I was gonna say, I also think, like, and this, Tori, in the NBA, you can't just lose assets for nothing. And so the Blazers had to sign him to that contract. Like, you have to offer it, but Dame doesn't have to take it. Like, if you're Joe Cronin, you're going to offer that contract because at some point you could eventually you could trade him for some type of asset. But Dame wanted to take the contract. Like, it was a must sign for the Blazers to bring him back, just like the Blazers brought back Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant is getting overpaid, but the Blazers can't lose him for nothing because eventually you could just trade him to a team that needs Jeremy Grant making a push for the playoffs. It bothers me that Dame signs the contract extension, and before the extension even kicks in, he already wants out, and he's already requesting a trade. Like, that does bother me a little bit.
But why does it bother you is my question.
Because the extension hasn't even kicked in, man. Like, he's gonna be owed $63 million.
Is it out of principle? Like,
you signed the contract, bro.
So it's out of principle. That's why it bothers you?
Yeah, you signed the contract. Like, you don't even have to fulfill it. I'm okay with requesting a trade, but you're going to be making all this money at this age when that contract is not going to look as good. And I know you're going to argue, yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, it will be fine, but it's not going to be a great contract when he's 35, 36 years old, and then you want out and the contract extension hasn't even kicked in. Like, that bothers me, man. Like, stay for at least a little bit. Stay for at least till the extension kicks in. He wants out right away. Sign a contract, and that's exactly what Durant
2 years ago.
Exactly what Durant has done. Exactly what Harden has done. They get killed, but now you guys are still defending Dame like he's doing the same thing that Harden and Durant do.
But here's the thing: if you are upset at him out of principle, I don't understand why you're not upset at the front office out of principle, because they told him one thing when he signed the contract to get him to sign the contract, and then did another. Because
I don't buy that, man.
Well, here's the quote from Dame when he signed the extension. He said, quote, "But just having those conversations, I would literally tell Chauncey, are we trying to win? Just tell me." And he'd be like, that's all I do is win. I'm a winner. And the same thing with Joe. And because, like I said, I had a prior relationship with Joe where I would sit in his office and we would sit there and talk about the board and stuff like that. The answers that I got, the responses that I got, I didn't look at them like, oh, he's just telling me this. I was able to trust what I was hearing from Chauncey and Joe Me and Jody spoke on the phone for 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours, and after we had that conversation, and I had already been in the process of getting to know her, and I learned a lot more in that conversation. From that point on, it was like, okay, I felt like we were aligned, we were on the same page about things, and that was, are we trying to win? He felt like they were on board with trying to win with him. All of Joe's messaging was, we're trying to win, we're obligated to build a winner around Dame, and his actions completely clashed with that. They did not line up with that at all. And, you know, even if you don't believe the stuff that me and Eric believe, his actions have not lined up with that, and he definitely wanted Scoot. He wanted a 19-year-old point guard, and he's looking towards the future. So he chose a different path from Dame, right? But when Dame signed that extension, it was Dame thinking they were on the same page about trying to win with Dame there in Portland. And that was not the path that they chose this offseason. So I just don't really understand, like, being upset at the principle of Dame demanding a trade now with the extension still years off, when, like, I'm upset at principle because I feel like they misled him in order to get that contract extension signed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that could happen. I don't know. I think Dame saw the fact that he's going to be 36 years old and he can make $63 million rather than hit free agency and not get that much money. And that's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with Dame asking out. I just have a problem with the whole timeline of it all and the fact that the extension hasn't kicked in. Like, to me, it screams that he just wanted to get that money, and that's fine. But, like, that's the contract he signed, man. Like, you cannot sign that contract and say, I only want to go to the Miami Heat and do it now for me. So now I don't have a problem with the Blazers. Like, I saw someone in the chat. Someone in the chat said both are at fault here. Blazers and Dame. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it is. Both these parties suck.
I just think there's a bit of a double standard here. I just think there's a bit of a double standard where the organization choosing their own path, it's okay, it's business. Dame choosing his own path, trying to make the best out of that situation, because this is not what Dame wanted. Dame did not want to go against what he thought was the agreement when the contract was signed. He didn't want to go against that. He wanted to make it work in Portland, right? The organization is the party that went against that and chose their own path. But I just don't understand criticizing Dame more than the organization, because when it comes to the organization, it's like, oh, well, that's what they should have done, right? Like, that's what they needed to do. It's just business. Like, they had to go the Scoot route. But when it comes to Dame and him trying to create his own path out of a situation he didn't want, then it's, oh, that he can't do that. That's bad. I just feel like there's a bit of a double standard there that's not applied equally.
No, I get it, man. And it is interesting because, you know, when Mike Schmitz got the assistant GM, we should have all seen that happening, right? I remember talking about this. Like, you don't hire that guy and then go out and make a bunch of trades. You hire that guy to draft people. Like, that's what he's known for. He's known to be a great drafter. They were going to start drafting people. And we no one took it seriously that, like, they should have explored to trade Dame at that point. But we all wanted to think, oh, no, they're going to make these trades. Joe Cronin is going to make all these trades to get the team next to Dame. No, like, Schmitz was brought in to draft people, and I don't think Dame liked that. I've heard Dame doesn't necessarily like Mike Schmitz, and I don't blame him because he's trying to find his replacement. Like, Cronin and Schmitz wanted to start their own team, and for that, like, I don't blame anybody in that situation. I don't blame Dame for wanting out. I don't blame the Blazers for wanting to start over. I blame Dame for the timing of it all, to take the money and then not even come through the extension and then ask to only go to the Miami Heat. That was the one thing, Tori, you know, we talk about, like, his interview with Mark Spears. He didn't say much, but what he did say was he wants to go to the Miami Heat and only the Miami Heat. Because Mark Spears asked him point blank, he's like, did you request a trade to the Miami Heat? He said, that happened. So, like, that's what he wants. And I think that's, man, to come in with one team and have 4 years of your contract for that much money, I think you got to have the balls, man, to do that. And just to expect the Blazers to give into everything, I don't know. I don't like that.
Yeah. So does your opinion on it change if, in the past, Cronin has told Dame that he would trade Dame where he wants to go? Because if we're going to be upset about the principle of things, then the principle of telling somebody one thing and then doing another is obviously bad.
Yeah. I mean, if I could have proof that he did that, then that would be pretty not great of Joe Cronin. Like, that would not be good. I don't know. I mean, I know that I'm pretty sure you guys have probably heard some stuff. I haven't heard anything concrete of, like, oh, Dame asked to go here and Joe Cronin said, yeah, we're going to get you where you want. And I do think, though, but Here's the thing, Tori. I do think that Joe Cronin and the Blazers will try to get Dame to Miami. Like I don't think that's not what they're trying to do. I just think they're trying to negotiate to get a better deal.
Yeah, and here's what I've always said is, like, at this point, I understand the Blazers trying to do what's in the best interest for the organization because they've already completely burnt the bridge and, in my opinion, screwed over Dame. So, like, at this point, however they handle this process, if they drag it out, whatever. Like, it doesn't really matter. I think we've hit rock bottom. Like, it's going to be what it's going to be. I just, if they're trying to get him to Miami, then it's either one of two things. They're stalling for some reason, or Miami hasn't offered their best package. And if Miami hasn't offered their best package, then I understand this being the situation. There was the report a couple days ago that the Heat are trying to keep Tyler Hero in a Dame trade. That's BS. You're trading for a guy who averaged 32 points and 7 assists last year. Was one of the top offensive players, phenomenal player, would fit there perfectly, and you're worried about future picks and Tyler Hero, who didn't even play on your playoff run? Like, they should be giving up the best deal.
Why would Pat Riley not do this? Why would he not try to lowball the Blazers? He's in no hurry. He knows that the Dame market, as you've said, isn't huge. So, like, why would he offer a great package right away? I can see Pat Riley saying, no, Dame wants to come to Miami. You just give it to us. Like, who else wants him? Nobody wants him.
See, I mean, that's where you have to play hardball, and that's where this could drag into the season. Like, if that is what Pat Riley is doing, I understand why it's taking so long, and I understand why it might lead up even to the deadline next year. Because at this point, if you're Portland, like, you got to try and get back the most value out of Miami, just simply from, like, a self-protection standpoint of Joe Cronin and his career as a GM. You can't trade Damian Lillard for 2 picks and that's it. Especially when you kind of chose this route. So, I mean, I understand the whole gamesmanship of it. I just think that, I don't know, I just don't think the Heat really care to keep Hero. Like, Josh Richardson is a better fit as a starting 2-guard next to Dame than Tyler Hero is. He's a better defensive player.
Definitely.
He's a better offensive player.
He's a better fit for sure, because the Heat still need scoring. The Heat still need shooting.
Yeah, I mean, but shooting's a dime a dozen. You got Duncan Robinson off the bench. I think they try and keep him. Like,
no, but dude, you know this. The Heat regular season shooting was awful, and then they were like the craziest hot team in the playoffs. They're by far the worst team to make the NBA Finals because they just got hot from 3. Like, that's not sustainable. But that's also all season.
Yeah, but that's also where Dame has a huge impact. And Josh Richardson's not a bad 3-point shooter. The past couple of years, 41.5%. 2 seasons ago, and then last year was 36.5% from 3, career 36.5% from 3. Like, Hero's a better shooter, but I think that when you have Dame in the backcourt, having a guy like Josh Richardson is better. Hero shot 38% last year, as a career 38% 3-point shooter. So, you know, a percentage and a half above where Josh Richardson's at, basically, for his career. I just don't think that really makes much of a difference, and if Hero's getting traded, it's to a third team. A lot of teams have shooters that you can probably work into the trade, where if Miami needs another shooter, they get another shooter. Like, I just don't understand. You're getting a guy as good as Dame, even if you're trying to be stingy and, like, be a genius. If you're Pat Riley and get Dame without giving up Hero and just looking like you absolutely fleeced in the deal, I just don't understand risking this could take into the season with maybe an unhappy Tyler Hero, an older Jimmy Butler. They barely made the playoffs last year as it is, right? Like, they can't afford for anything to go wrong. I just don't understand doing that to try and keep Tyler Hero when, I mean, you're getting Dame because he's that offensive engine. Tyler Hero's not that guy, and that's really what he's good at, is offense. He's not known for his defense. He can make a play for someone, but I just don't understand being stingy on that and future first. Even if you have leverage, I don't understand the stinginess on that from Miami.
I mean, do you just not think Tyler Hero's that good, or, like, is he not a starter? Like, the guy's 23. He's been,
he's good.
He's a really good player. Like, I think his value has gone so far down this offseason just because he was injured and the Heat made a playoff run, and now, like, he's supposedly, the Blazers don't even want him. Like, someone's going to get him, and it's going to be, like, a good deal for them. Like, he's a good player. So, like, I understand why the Heat don't want to necessarily just give him up. Like, he's 23 years old, man.
Who's an equal caliber player for Dame at a forward spot?
That's tough, man.
Kind of like equal trade value, equal production on the court. Chat. This is where I turn to chat.
Yeah.
Who's like a similar caliber player to Dame, maybe similar age-wise, at a forward spot?
It's like Chat GPT, man.
Yeah,
AI.
it is.
Let's go AI.
Jimmy Butler. Yeah, Jimmy Butler's
Yeah.
actually a good.
That's actually
Steven,
really good. Yeah, I love.
If we were trying to contend, and Jimmy Butler said he wanted to come here, but we didn't have him yet because Cronin was sitting here like, nope, we're not trading Anthony Simons and 3 firsts next to him to pair Jimmy Butler with Dame. If he did that last year, like, what would we be saying?
Well,
we'd be saying just make the freaking trade.
You know, I'd be mad.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Anthony Simons guy, but yeah, no, for sure. I understand your point, but I understand the Heat's point too, because I don't think the Heat are in a hurry either. Like they're Heat are always going to be a team that contends, and so like unless the Heat start off really bad and they're like 4-10, then they'll get really desperate to make a trade. But I don't think the Heat are necessarily in a hurry because Dame's a vet. Like offensively, he's going to fit in. I do want to ask you this, Tori. I'm very interested to see what you think of this. Does Dame actually fit into Heat culture? Heat culture is about getting dirty, playing defense, like grinding it out. That's not Dame's game, man. Does he really fit in with Heat culture?
I mean, the defensive aspect of Heat culture, no. Every other part of Heat culture, yes. Because Heat culture is more than just like, oh, being a hard-nosed defensive player. It's much more than that. It's a bunch of guys that basically were undrafted or underrated, basically got it out the mud, have that chip on their shoulder, right? Like, have that competitive attitude, competitive spirit. Like, I think Dame absolutely has all of that.
Do you think, because going back to the Olympics, I know he was hurt. I know Dame was hurt at the Olympics. Popovich did not like to play him because he wasn't playing defense. And he was kind of being selfish. You don't think
he was hurt? He could barely move. There's a reason why.
You don't think Spolstra's going to get pissed? You don't think Spolstra's going to get mad when he was playing defense?
Steven.
I'm asking questions.
Yeah, I know. But, like, what did he average 2 seasons ago? What was his numbers? Terrible compared to his standard because of his core. His core was awful. He was not moving the same. He was not playing the same. Like, his core, and then he goes into the season and he's awful. He gets his core fixed, he comes back, and he has his greatest season ever. Like, I can't hold that whole situation about, like, Pop maybe not wanting to play Dame, because he still played Dame. Pop maybe not wanting to play Dame. It's not because of Dame as a player, it's because Dame and his core injury, right?
That's fair. No, I was kind of just asking the question.
Yeah.
I think about these things, because I try to think, like, why hasn't it worked in Portland? And if it is just the GM's fault and it's the roster's fault, or is it Dame's fault? And, I usually come to the conclusion that it's the roster and the GM, but sometimes I want to think like maybe it was Dame. Am I overrating Dame a little bit? Maybe I am. I just want to throw it out to you.
Yeah. Chat doesn't like that, but
yeah, they don't like
fine.
that.
That'd be fun to go live. I mean, yeah, I just think that's simply what it is. Like, I think Pop and Dame have a really good relationship. Why hasn't it worked with Dame here? I mean, they haven't. I mean, what do you truly think it is my question.
It's the roster, dude. Like, just the rosters. Yeah. Let me ask you this question about Dame too. Because we were touching around with this one earlier, maybe today or yesterday, but Dame, he's always talked about.
Wait. Before you ask this question, save this question, because I think you'll really like this comment. I think so we have a comment saying that I undervalue Ant horribly. Ant and 3 firsts for Jimmy is ludicrous. So, like, I like Ant, like, more than, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm higher on Ant than you are. And sometimes you give me a little bit of crap for it. I just thought that comment was funny.
Okay, here's my thing about Ant. He's good. He's a good player. I would say he's a really good shooter, but that's about it. Like, tell me somewhere else where he is getting really good at, like, above average. And you talked about this earlier, Tori. You even said shooters are a dime a dozen. No, I don't know that I necessarily believe that you can just find a shooter, but you can find guys that can score the basketball. And Ant was he was in the 28th percentile last year in the short mid range, like in the paint. Like, he doesn't finish inside. He can shoot the basketball, and that's about it. Like, you can find guys that can score. Now, he's really elite at it,
but to not be a really good defender to go along with shooting the basketball really well and not doing much else, and then being undersized as well, that it throws me for a loop a little bit. And I don't want to build my team around him.
I think he's a better shooter than you give him credit for at the rim. According to Basketball Reference, I know there's different sources that maybe count a little bit differently, but just looking at Basketball Reference, field goal percentage from 0 to 3 feet the last 3 years, 53%, 57%, 65%.
I was talking about like the float game.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just like a very specific range. Like, if we're going to look at that specific range, we should look at other ranges if we're talking about more than just 3-point shooting. So, like, at the rim, he's steadily improved. I think he's solid there now.
He doesn't get to the rim, though, either.
That isn't true. That is
definitely true.
I mean, how do you even?
That's right here.
That's an ambiguous statement, right? So,
no, I've written 17% of shots at rim, 21%. Yeah. That's 29th percentile for guards.
But if you're talking about for a shooter, for like
the rim?
Like, okay, if you pair him with 3-point specialist, what percentile is it then? You know what I mean? Because if you just want to look at him like a 3-point specialist, what else does he do? Because that's the thing. That's against slashing guards who can't shoot threes. He's also really good from 10 to 16 feet last year. He shot 54%, which is really good from that range.
He's a very good mid-range shooter. I will give him that.
So, that's what percentage of his shots inside the arc from those specific ranges. Like, he did not shoot poorly inside the arc. When he got to the free throw line, he knocked down his free throws. 3 free throw attempts per game, up from 2 the year before. 89% from the free throw line. 53% from 2 for a guard who's a shooter is not bad, especially when he's creating some of those shots off the dribble. I also think life was made harder on him last year by playing with a bench lineup that basically had no creation outside of him. No creation outside of him.
Yeah. No, and I think that'll be an interesting thing because next season, like whether Dame's here or not, like I know Scoot's kind of the guy, Shaden Sharp's kind of the guy, but Ant's going to be the quote unquote veteran that's going to have the ball. Like he's going to be the guy who runs the show a little bit. You can't just give the ball to Scoot, let him go at 19, especially when you have a guy like Anthony Simons. So I'm interested to see how it works, how it looks, man. I think it's funny. I also saw in the chat, Medina, he put a funny comment saying, when I was describing Ant, I basically described Tyler Hero, which was kind of true.
Well, that's why I brought up like Ant versus Tyler Hero package, because like Maxey, Hero, and Ant are relatively similar. Like I would put Maxey over both. I would put Ant next. Then I'd probably put Hero. Then I'd probably put Poole. Because I think Poole is just a little more wild than all those guys and untrustworthy because of some of his decision making.
I think the only difference, Tori, real quick, is like Ant hasn't done in the playoffs just because he hasn't had the chance to, right? Like we've seen even Malik Monk, play really well in the playoffs. So like I know you can trust that guy. I just haven't seen Ant because he hasn't been there. But it's not that I don't necessarily think he could do it. I just haven't seen it.
Didn't he have a game where he went off in that Denver series?
I don't know. Are we counting the one Denver game that he had? I guess.
I mean, it's only one game. I mean, I'm not saying that proves anything or whatever. It's just he shot. He played 6 games, 18 minutes a game. He averaged 6.5 points. Like that's not great per 36. That's why I like 13. It's not great, but he shot 60% from 3. He'll be able to knock down threes. I wonder if he'd play a little better in a little bit more of a fast tempo offense. That's where I think it's going to be fascinating to see him play next to Scoot. But I think last year, I think he showed a lot of improvement in areas that I was looking for. I thought he showed some improvement defensively. There's still areas where he really struggles in, but especially getting through screens, which is huge for a guard, being able to get through screens because it's such a pick and roll heavy league. I thought he showed pretty dang good improvement there. So you got to clean up some of the other stuff, but at least he showed improvement on the defensive end. He shot, not counting a very small sample his rookie season, he shot a career high from 2. He shot a career high from the free throw line. He had a career high in terms of free throw rate. Career high in terms of assists per game. It's very similar to last year. So, but improved his finishing at the rim, got to the rim a little bit more in the past couple of years. Like, he's showing improvement. And that's the thing is because he's been in the league for 5 years, I feel like people think he's a finished product, but he's only 24 and he showed improvement last year. Why can't he improve a little bit more this year?
What do you think?
He's close enough in those areas that if he improves a little bit, you're talking about maybe a fringe all-star caliber player.
What do you think is more important, though? Do you think it's actual age of the player or how many years you played in the league? Because I think it's how many years you're in the league. But what do you think is more important?
I think both matter. But I also think there's no like.
Which one's more important though? You didn't answer my question, Tori. Come on. One's more important than the other. It's okay.
I'd say age.
Okay.
I'd say age. Because, like, if you just have a 24-year-old rookie, I'm not expecting him to improve a whole lot.
Yeah, he's kind of a finished product, yeah.
But then again, like, Cam Johnson was kind of that guy, and he's steadily improved throughout his entire career. So, I mean, I would say that, but in the end, like, I don't think there's any true rule. Like, Chris Murray, I think his game is... He's going to get better, but I think he's closer to his ceiling than maybe another 22-year-old or 23-year-old, however old Chris Murray is.
Keegan Murray, Chris Murray, like those guys don't seem like they're going to get much better, right? But like you look at a guy like Anthony Simons, you can say, okay, this guy's going to get better. I'm with you.
Yeah, because Ant has to think the game a lot more than Keegan Murray or Chris Murray do. So that comes with more of a skill curve. I just think he improved enough last year that I'm still expecting some improvement. He seems like a guy who works hard. And
here's the question.
He was decent inside the arc. He was decent getting through screens. I think for like a shooter, playmaker, 4 assists per game, like, is okay. And then when he's the lead guard, his numbers look even better. So,
here's my question for you then, Tori. Since you say Ant, he's got all-star potential, which is fine. Maybe he does. Is it Ant Scoot tandem in the backcourt? Is that sustainable for years to come?
I think Scoot has to be a decent defender in order for that to be sustainable defensively. I also think that if you have the right front court, you can survive with a bad defensive backcourt. Like we saw Dame and CJ make a Western Conference Finals with Cantor starting at the center because Al-Farouq Aminu and Mo Harkless were so good and versatile, and then you had Zach Collins off the bench. Like, I think they can coexist. I think offensively they actually fit off each other really well. It's just always the question of, like, will the defense be good enough? Will Scoot be a good defender in the league, or will he struggle? Will it kind of be like Dame, which people thought Dame was going to be a decent defender coming into the league, and then he struggled. And then will Ant continue to improve? So that's kind of the question there, is just can it work defensively? Because I think it would be fine on offense.
Yeah, no, I think everyone has high hopes of people being defenders when they come to the NBA, and it's tough to really say. Like, I remember Victor Oladipo was supposed to be like, oh, worst case scenario, he's Tony Allen. I remember people would say that's like, well, Tony Allen is just an elite defender also. Like, you don't just find these guys. Like, they actually have to put in work and have to do it. So I'm with you. Like, Scoot may suck on defense. It remains to be seen. We just don't know what it's going to be in the NBA.
Well, I just think there's actually a correlation with how good he is as a player and him actually struggling on defense, because it's the point I've made before, Steven. When you are a 6'2" guard and have to carry an offense, maybe you don't have to, but maybe you're so good that you do, right? Like if Scoot becomes a guy that's averaging 27 and 10 offensively or some absurd numbers like that, he's going to be a great player, probably a top 10 player. But if he's averaging 27 and 10 or something like that, that takes a lot of energy to produce that level of offense. It's hard as a 6'2" guy to be a good defender when you don't have length on your size, don't have size on your size, and you're also expending that much energy. So
I know that's why you beat me, because I expended so much time on offense. I couldn't play defense on you anymore. I'm 6'2". I was trying so hard offensively, Tori, I just couldn't guard you anymore. I know exactly what you're saying.
Exactly. So, hopefully Scoot does a little bit better than you did. We'll see. Maybe Scoot can't guard me. I don't know.
No, dude. I don't think he could. I think after I guarded you, there's no chance.
I will say, like, Scoot has the mindset and the physical tools. Like, he has the things you can't teach, so that's why I'm hopeful.
There's the documentary on Amazon about the G League, and Scoot's in it. I don't know if you've seen it, Tori. Like,
I watched it, yeah.
If you watch that, you come away, you don't like Scoot. Like, I don't like you, because Scoot is awesome, dude. Like, that guy, like, I totally understand why the Blazers are like, we're going to build around this man. Like, that guy is a baller, dude. I love that man.
Yeah, and this whole time, I've never seen one person say, no, we have Scoot Henderson on the team, or no, like, it's always been like, no, we lost Dame, or no, we didn't build around Dame. It's I don't think I've seen one person upset that Scoot Henderson's on this team. It seems like everybody loves Scoot. Yeah. Which is pretty cool, you know. And we'll always get people in chat trying to rile everybody up that like make it a Scoot versus Dame thing. Like if you wanted to build around Dame, that means you don't like Scoot or you can't be a fan of Scoot or this or that. I mean, Scoot's about as good of a guy as you could hope for moving on from a guy like Dame. It sucks that they're moving on from Dame, and it sucks how they handled it.
I have heard that Dame has no problems with Scoot. He's cool. He's cool with Scoot, and they're boys. They like each other.
Yeah, so they've texted before, so I do think they like each other. I don't think Dame was happy about them taking him. I mean,
yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm just saying, like as a guy, like even if they had to play with each other, I think Dame was okay with it because he likes Scoot as a player.
See, that's kind of the thing I wondered after the draft is like, is there a way where if they did make a winning move somewhere else, Dame would be okay? Like if they were able to get Draymond, right? Or somebody like that, somebody to come in and help them be a better team next year, was it something where Dame would be like, okay, well, I can play with Scoot and we got Draymond now, you know, like, or we got this guy. Like if they made a trade for OG Anunoby, would that keep Dame in Portland despite drafting Scoot? That was a lot of what we talked about after was, you know, Dame doesn't want to play with more 19-year-olds and wants to trade the pick and this and that. But I do think there was a chance if they wanted to or were capable of it, I do think there was a chance for them to draft Scoot and try and keep Dame. It's just, you know, well, I wonder, there was no follow-up move after it. There was nothing really available after it. If they were able to make a move, it was going to have to be with the third pick. That was the problem.
Well, it makes me think of what exactly is Anthony Simons' trade value. Like, I know that he has value, and I know that he's a good, solid player, but, like, what could they have really gotten for him? Like, that's my question. And I know the Raptors are stingy on what they give up, but, like, they don't want him because they obviously have a worse version of Gary Trent. But, like, I don't know, man. Like it makes me go think like in that situation, if the Blazers draft Scoot, the Blazers keep Dame, the obvious person to trade is Anthony Simons. And you would think at his age, his ability, you should be able to get something good. But I really don't know what they could have gotten for him.
I mean, at that point, I don't know either. Him and Tyler Hero, I feel like their trade value across the league is a little too low.
I also think it probably varies team by team too. That's the thing.
Well, that too. I just think a lot of, I don't know. I don't really understand why Anthony Simons' trade value wouldn't be higher. I just think teams underrate him. And when he's been the lead guard, he's put up numbers. He's put up really good numbers when he's the lead guard. If he's not the lead guard, he can shoot the ball. He can give you a solidly efficient 21 points per game and 4 assists.
Why are you being so positive? I was told you're a hater.
Well,
I only came on this show because you're a hater. That's what I heard.
People say lots of different things about me, and it's, you know, I am a man of many definitions, Steven.
All right,
so
that's fair. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just, you
know. No, you're fine. You're gonna ask me a question earlier before we got on the Ant topic about Dame.
Yeah, I was. It was, you know, Dame's always been, you know, he doesn't want super teams. Not about the championships. It's about loyalty. Now that he's going against all that, do we still have respect for that? Because he's totally just saying, I'm all about championships now. If he wants to really just only go to Miami.
What? I just want to read the chat responses to this question.
But is that? I mean, he said it's not about championships, not about ring chasing, not about super teams. He literally is saying, I only want to go to one team because they're close to a championship.
I mean, it was about trying to make it work in Portland, and he was loyal to Portland. And then that loyalty got shredded up in the shredder and tossed into the trash, so he didn't have that left. All that he has left after the way this situation was handled is his competitive spirit. That's all that he has left. Because any loyalty, any goodwill towards the organization, any semblance of just trying to have a chance at making it work in Portland, Croden threw that in the trash.
No, that's fine. No, I just was asking again. Tori, you know me. This is literally what. Okay, guys, behind the scenes. we do podcasts, it's like we don't talk before. You just sign on and go, and then afterwards, I just pepper Tori with these questions because I think about these things, and I just need to get because I know your fan group, you got a good fan group here, and then my fan group, and then like my listeners on the BFT, like totally different than Blazers Uprise. Like everybody on our show hates Dame. And so like I get all the negative, and then your channel loves Dame. And so I'd love to get both sides. That's really all I'm doing. You are a good devil's advocate.
Thank you.
I do think people get a little bit too worked up at your questions. Because that's why I think that's why it's entertaining, because you'll just throw some question like that out.
Just throw it out there.
Which is just the other answer to me is just ridiculous. But as a I'm speaking from a guy who's not a media guy, right? I've been told that by many media guys, right? Not a media guy.
I don't
not
know.
A media guy. As a non-media guy, I think about like how it would be different being on the radio and try, if you're taking callers or whatever, and just keeping people engaged. And I've always thought like, okay, so you want people to call in with their opinions. The way you do that is just by posing questions. Even if it's a question where like one answer, in my opinion, might be completely ridiculous, and one answer is like the correct one, just based on what I think, still it drives conversation and it drives engagement, right? Like that's kind of my guess as to how some of that works on the radio side of things.
Well, Canzano literally told me that. He goes, you know what? You can pop on anytime you want. Just bring it, and usually just ask me a question. Like, bring me and ask a question. Like, you are the voice of the listener. And so that, like, that's kind of my job, is just to think of different questions. So I don't know. I just like to think about these things because, like, it is a little true. Like Dame said, he doesn't want to do super team, but now he wants to team up with Jimmy Butler. Like, that's a super team, is it not?
They were the 8th seed last year.
That's true. They were minutes away from not making the playoffs. I can't believe they beat the Bulls, man. They were going to lose to the Bulls.
They were. They were a finals team, but like I don't think that's a super team. He only has like Bam's a borderline all-star, right? Jimmy's an all-star, Dame's an all-star. Like what's the criteria for a super team?
1,000 eyes, not really an advocate, just devil. Like it. That's a good one right there. I'm a fan of that one.
Steven the Devil Vaughan.
The devil. Dude. Oh, hey, I am the devil for you guys. I'm a media member. I'm a media member that doesn't. I don't break news though. That's my thing.
Yeah, well, people say we are the devil as far as Blazers content. So you fit. I guess.
That's why I fit in, and I'm the devil of the devil content. What does that make me? That makes me feel good.
Exactly. You're the one media guy that'll talk to us.
Well, that's not.
Chad's cool. Chad's cool.
I got you okay with Chad.
Yeah, Chad's cool. Which, I listened to Chad before I ever started doing YouTube, and then we had a little like stupid Twitter stuff, which I've gotten better at being civil on Twitter. Okay, when I want to be occasional. Yes, absolutely.
You just told me a story about how you blocked a guy, or no, the guy blocked you, and then he got mad at you and wanted to fight. Drop your location, dog.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. But I did say I just said he blocked me. I just posted a screenshot of him blocking me and said he's good at Twitter. He blocked me because I disagreed with him. And then he got mad at me and like wants to fight me or so. That's pretty dang civil, man. Like, you should have seen the back and forths I used to have with Chad. Clown, donkey, ass clown, all sorts of names. Yeah. It's gotten better.
I like Chad. The thing with Chad is he gets really upset if you curse at him. Like, he's told me that. Like, just don't curse at him.
Yeah.
Oh. But Chad's cool, man. I love Chad. That's my guy.
See, like, since you told me that, if I tweet out something with a curse word, occasionally I'll think of like, I shouldn't be cursing.
Well, I always think about that.
Mad at me.
Chad's gonna get mad at you. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to like curse a lot. I don't curse a lot anyways, but like, I don't think I'm supposed to. Like, with my job.
1v1 game.
I did.
I left it in. It was the first curse in a video, maybe ever, actually.
I told you. I'm not surprised I lost, Tori. I'm just pissed I lost. Like, it really bothered me. I really thought I was gonna win. I thought I was gonna come in after not playing for months and then beat you. I thought I was gonna crush you. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
You're better
if
than
that
I
gym
thought.
wasn't so hot, I wonder how differently it would have went. The court was kind of slick too.
I swept too. I swept the court too.
Yeah, it's just
I did-
big wooden place. Not really surprised. I wonder how the heat affects that.
It's way too much. Okay, another question for you, Tori.
Yeah.
And I asked you this on our podcast earlier, but you know, a little bit farther down the road now, is Dame on the roster for training camp for the preseason, for regular season? Is he still on the Blazers roster, or are they gonna figure out a trade?
I don't think he's on the roster.
You think he's
I think he gets
he's in
traded
Miami?
in September. So on July 31st, I had a stream titled it was something like prediction Dame won't get traded in August. Okay, like I thought there was. At the end of July, I thought there was zero chance he'd get traded in August because August was the type of month that nothing happens in. GMs are on vacation. Like, at this point, you've waited all the way through July. What's going to change in August since you can wait all the way through August into September before training camp even starts? So August is just like the dead month, right? Like, I feel like stuff like this, for the most part, would either happen in July or like right before training camp. And at that point, since it didn't happen in July, it was, my thought was it's not going to happen in August. It's going to happen in September. Now that it hasn't happened in August up to this point, I feel like people are starting to think like, oh, he's definitely coming back to training camp. I'm still not there yet because this is kind of what how I expected it to play out. But I am questioning him getting traded before training camp more.
Yeah, I mean, as more time goes on, I think he's on the Blazers roster. I said that back when I asked the question before, but I've been saying that for a while. Like, I think he's on the roster, and it'll get real muddy at that point. Like, are they going to put him in training camp? Are they going to make him play in the regular season? Like, how weird is that going to be? Like, every game could be Dame's last in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
The Blazers just promote that, like, oh, come watch Damian Lillard's last game at Moda Center.
At least I would expect it.
Get your tickets for 300% the normal rate.
His last game? Do you even remember his last game from last year?
No, I don't remember what I did yesterday.
They got a win in Utah. I think it was like their second to last win of the season or something like that. They won in Utah. They scored like 130 points or something like that. And,
I kind of remember that because I bet against them. I was pissed.
That's what I've thought about. That's gonna be the end. That game.
Just a nondescript game at Utah.
Yeah, when they're trying to tank but still playing Dame. Like, that's going to be the end of Dame in Portland. That's going to be his last game in a Blazer uniform after all this time. It feels wrong to me. So even if it was that next year, at least it would be like, okay, well, this might be his last game, so...
Do you think it hurts Scoot at all if Dame does come back? I don't. I don't think it hurts Scoot, but do you think it does?
So me and Eric actually disagree a little bit on this. I don't think it does. I think on the court it's a little weird, but also my whole thing is like having somebody like Dame to play off of will be beneficial for Scoot learning how to play off the ball early in his career, right? Like he's gonna have to learn how to play off the ball, and he's still gonna get reps with the ball in his hands. Like I think Dame would play off of him. I think it's actually a good mix of like being able to get the reps with the ball in his hands, which he got a ton of last year in the G League. He's going to continue to get those, but also at some point, in order to win a championship, he's probably going to have to play well off another star. So getting that learning curve started right away, I think would be good, and then also all the mentorship that comes from Dame. I think Dame has benefited Anthony Simons a ton being that mentor for him, and I think having a guy like that for Scoot would also be beneficial.
Do you think it hurts his psyche or his mentality any? Because it's like he's the guy, right? Like that's who Portland's going to be selling. Like he's the future. Scoot's the man. Do you think it hurts his mentality or his psyche? Because again, I don't. Like I think Scoot's different, but I think if it was a different player, it may affect him. But I just don't think it affects Scoot.
Yeah, I don't think it affects Scoot either. I mean, with a different guy that's coming in and expecting to be the guy, it'd be a problem.
To play off the ball, like I think that would be super valuable, and that's why I do think it is important to have even Anthony Simons on this team because he for what he is, he can handle the ball a little bit. It'll force Scoot to play off the ball and learn how to do that. I don't want the Blazers just to go out there and say, hey, Scoot, you're 19 years old, but you get the ball every single play. Like that doesn't make anybody get better.
Yeah. So I 100% agree with that. It would be fascinating to watch play out. The question that I have if Dame is back is like, okay, so how much is Scoot playing? Is Scoot even starting? Like, if Dame's actually playing on the court, how does that work in regards to Scoot's just opportunities? Because I'm a Niners fan, man, and I'm pissed off about Trey Lance right now because I feel like he never got an opportunity, right? It's obviously not going to be the same thing in basketball, but I don't want it to be a situation where Scoot's only playing, 22 minutes a game because Dame's there. Because the team is built up for the long term. It's not built to win in the next 2 years right now. And if Dame's still on the team, it's like, I think Dame can help his development, but it needs to be a situation where you still prioritize that development compared to just running Dame out there and playing Scoot off the bench for 22 minutes a game.
No, I agree, because what are they going to do? Go back to the old 3-guard, line up Anthony Simons playing the 3? Like, can't do that. Like, that's not good. But at the same time, if Dame's on the roster, Adam Silver kind of already made the point, like, Dame, doesn't really matter where you are, you got to honor your contract and play. So, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I hope Dame's traded before the season, because you need to get Scoot as much time as you can. Like, you really do. Like, that's the future of the franchise. But at the same time, like, Anthony Simons is still a young player that's improving. You can't just hurt his minutes. It's a tough situation, man. That's why I really think, Tori, like, if he's on the roster come regular season, come preseason, this could get real muddy, because I don't think the Blazers want to play him. I don't think Chauncey wants to play him. I don't think Joe Cronin wants to play him. But at the same time, Adam Silver basically said, like, Dave, you have to play whatever team you're on. Doesn't matter what team you're on, you have to play. And it'll be a terrible look if Dame's like, I am going to sit out.
Well, that's exactly why I think he ends up getting traded in September. I think one of the two parties between the Heat and the Blazers are just going to bite the bullet.
Yeah.
If the Heat aren't giving up their best package right now. And if they are, I think Portland's just going to come around to accepting it. And if Pat Riley is really that stingy, then Portland has to weigh the potential just, messiness of it, because while I do think Dame could benefit Scoot, I still think it's messy with how that works out. I don't know. Like, Portland doesn't want Dame here with Scoot. So how badly do they not want Dame here with Scoot, I think, is going to determine if Pat Riley isn't giving up his best package. It's going to determine what the package ends up being. So we'll see. Because also, that's the thing is, if they don't want Dame here, I also agree with what you said. They don't want to look dumb either. That's two things that are clashing with this ownership front office. They want to get back a good haul for Dame, but also they want to get rid of Dame. So that's why this situation is so fascinating.
It is fascinating, dude. Like, I mean, just think if the Blazers had a owner that knew what they were doing, or an owner in general. Like, they don't even have an owner; just has the estate to the team. Jody Allen does. Like, this is then Bert Cole just wants to get in there and act like he's running the show. I don't know, man. It's like, I know it doesn't affect what's on the court. And like, had the Blazers got the first pick in the draft and Wembanyama, like, oh, hey, Jody Allen could still win an NBA championship as an owner. But like, yeah, it does matter some.
Man, they were one ping pong number away from getting Wemby, and then Dame is still here, and we have an even brighter future. Like,
think about that, dude. Wembanyama here.
Oh, so man. And people were like, I got so sad when we didn't get the number 1 pick on the stream, man. I got so sad. People were like, why are you sad? We moved up. That's great. You love being negative, blah, 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 blah. But, like, at that point, I wasn't necessarily worried about Dame asking out, but I did think it was a greater than non-zero chance, and obviously it wanted Wemby, but also I knew that Wemby is going to keep Dame here the rest of his career. Like, we were never going to have to worry about that again.
No, not at all.
So that's why I wanted it so bad. That's why I was upset when we didn't get it. And, happy to move up, of course, especially, could you imagine if we didn't have Scoot in this offseason with the way it did? It could have been even worse.
You're really mad that Trey Lance is a third-string quarterback?
Dude, I don't think Darnold's better than him.
I hate Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold is bad. I've never liked him. I never liked him at USC, but, like, Trey Lance has proven literally nothing in the 49ers with Kyle Shanahan, man. Like, he's the quarterback. Shanahan's the quarterback.
Lance hasn't gotten an opportunity to prove anything. Like, if you're going to invest that much draft capital in trading up for the third pick to draft Trey Lance, but then you're not even going to give him a legitimate opportunity. He started 2 games his rookie year. One of them was bad. One of them was actually pretty good. And then last year, he started week 1 in a monsoon in Chicago. Okay, just completely wiped that game from existence because it was a freaking monsoon.
Yeah.
It was Nick Bosa, like, doing the slip and slide across the field after a sack, or I think it was Nick Bosa, I don't remember. And then week 2, early in the game, he breaks his leg. He has not gotten a legitimate opportunity. It seems like he's made improvements over the past, 6 months since he's been healthy. I think his throwing motion looks a little bit better. And you're gonna put him behind Sam freaking Darnold? Why did you trade all that draft capital if you were gonna put him behind Sam Darnold after never giving him a chance? It's just stupid. It's just ridiculous. So now what? You're gonna trade him somewhere else for maybe a 5th round pick, and then when he gets a chance, he might be a stud, because I still think he has a high upside. So not only would the first trade look awful, right? Trading all that draft capital for a guy you never even gave a chance to, but then you might trade him for next to nothing, and he might go be a star.
It's a lot of might be's there. A lot of might be's.
It's just okay, but the reality is they never gave him a chance. They traded a bunch of draft capital and they never gave him a chance. It's stupid.
They tried. He got hurt. I mean, he broke his
Nobody's
leg.
saying even to start him, but
I know.
Like, why is Sam Darnold ahead of him? Everybody knew Brock was going to start.
I mean, if Purdy got hurt, which I hope he doesn't, because I'm fascinated with Brock Purdy, but like if he gets hurt and then Sam Darnold comes in and struggles and Trey Lance is still on the roster, it's going to be a short leash with Darnold.
Oh, absolutely. But it's going to, I mean, the thing is like the arguments I've heard from some Niners fans is Sam Darnold has a higher floor. He has some absolutely horrific performances in his career.
He's on his third team in like 5 years.
Like
it's like Sam Darnold. Okay, you'll like this one. Sam Darnold. Let's compare him to Cam Reddish. Highly touted, supposed to be really good. Then he goes on a bunch of teams and is terrible. And everyone's like, "Oh, Sam Darnold, he's gonna be great. This is the situation. Just bring Sam Darnold here. He'll be fine." Cam Reddish coming to Portland. That's all I need is a chance with the ball, and now he's gone.
Yeah,
you like that one?
I'm consumed with chat actually. Sorry, what? This has been the first time I've spaced out because I'm reading a chat comment. We have a comment from Eric with a K.
Cam Reddish is Sam Darnold. That was my point.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Okay, Tori. Okay, hearing Tori say this, he just doesn't understand pro sports, from Eric with a K. And then he says, Steven, on your pods, do you ban people for different opinions like Eric does? Which is BS.
Well, I only have the one podcast that's with you. I wish I could ban some people that have called the radio station sometimes, but I can't.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. Yeah, so we just have people that come back on probably their 20th birders that always just say.
How many burners you got, by the way?
On Twitter?
Yeah.
Define burner. Like, I have the Blazers Uprise Twitter account, and then I have, for our mock off season, I have
that
an
other one,
Alien Wojnarowski account.
I don't count that. I don't count that. This is truth time with Steven here. Like burner account that you go on and you post things that nobody knows it's you.
I will say everything as me, and I will take all the BS from all the Erics with a K that they'll give me. Like I'll I'm not afraid to put myself out there as myself. So no, I legitimately do not have any burners.
That's actually shocking. I thought you'd have at least one.
That's shocking. I feel like that would be obvious. Like I will say whatever.
I feel like a lot of people I've talked to have a burner account, like just to throw out random trades or something.
The only time I log on to other accounts is like if somebody blocked me and I want to see what they say, then I'll read the conversation from a different account. But it's not like I'll go in there as Alien Wojnarowski and reply.
I know, but everyone would know that's you. I'm talking about just like the whatever it is. No picture, no profile.
No. If I had a burner, it'd probably be a Reddit burner. But the thing is,
spreading propaganda about the Blazers.
No, just defending myself.
Man, that Tory guy, he's really smart.
Just defending myself. But the thing is, if I made one, I'd need to make like 10 for it to matter. So I'm not gonna waste my time with that. Like people are gonna hate and people are gonna love, and you've seen it with chat today. It's just the way it is. So I don't know. I don't.
The chat is fascinating to me. Like we don't have a text line. I've always wondered what it would be, but like this is fascinating. Like I would get like you got lost in it a little bit. That's what happened to me all the time. I would just get lost.
Oh yeah, it's tough to, there's times where Eric will like ask me a question and then I'll just kind of sit there. I'm like, wait, what? So it's tough. And then like sometimes me and Eric will have dialogues and then there will be a couple people that are like, you're not responding to chat. It's like, what? We're not supposed to talk? So then I start talking to chat and then there'll be a couple people. You're talking to chat too much. You're talking to this guy too much. It's just like, I don't know. But yeah, no, chat makes it fun because even on a dead night, like that's how we're able to stream all through August. Is we just go live with the chat and talk with the chat. We do a life advice segment. We give life advice. Chat, does anybody need life advice from Steven? He's a father and a married man, so he's capable of giving you good advice.
Taylor Packer, I've been accused of being you or Eric's burn on Reddit for defending y'all. That's pretty funny. Do you know that guy?
Taylor? Yeah, that's my guy. He actually went to we graduated the same year, I think. He went to the high school in my
What high school did you go to?
Kind of knew of him. Columbia River High School.
I want to say my cousin said he saw you play once back in the day, but I don't know.
Probably. I played in Les Schwab tournament my junior year, and you know who covered my game for Oregon Live?
Travis Demers.
Nope.
John Canzano.
Mike Richmond.
Was that like a flex? Like, oh, I played the Les Schwab.
No,
Guess what? I did too.
Yeah. All right. Well, you played against Kevin Love and stuff. Like, yes, your resume. Why would I flex my resume on a show with you? It's just stupid. No,
it's funny. Like, I really don't. I know that I'm not a very good. Like, I'm a okay basketball player, like compared to average normal people. But I know I'm not very good. I just like to say that I'm really good.
I mean, your first team NWAC and won a championship, bro. Like, that's very, very good. I challenge, people would chat, like, challenge me one-on-one, challenge you one-on-one. I don't know. I challenge anybody that thinks that they could be a better basketball player than you to go be first team NWAC and win a championship.
Do it. I dare you. Kyle Wilson. Hey, Steven, how do you avoid getting into heated arguments on Twitter? It's really hard. Trust me.
You seem to do a pretty good job of it, though.
I have to think. So one time, what did I do? That's trying to think. I think Hyken tweeted something about a trade exception, and I quote tweeted it, and I was like, "Oh, cool, another trade exception the Blazers won't use." And Travis Demers, my guy, he texts me. He goes, "Steven," he goes, "don't do that. You look like an idiot, and no one's gonna trust you." And I'm like, "All right, well," he goes, "You have to think about what you're gonna tweet if you want to be taken seriously." And so ever since that, I will have tweets out, and I'm like, is Travis going to yell at me for doing this?
So I think about when I cuss, okay, Chad.
Yeah. You think Chad, I think Travis. I'm like, is it worth it right now to say, Tori, your opinion is terrible, and I think you're dumb? Like, I probably should do that.
Yeah, I mean, I generally try not to insult people directly. Your opinion might be dumb. That doesn't make you dumb, right? So that's kind of how I approach things, or try to. Differently in the past, but if I just said cookie cutter stuff constantly, I would have no platform. We would not be here right now. If I just said cookie cutter stuff.
You're Skip Bayless, just making up stuff.
No, I just say what I think, and I'll make a joke about it. Making a joke about a trade exception is fine.
It's valid though. Like, it was valid. Like, when do the Blazers use trade exceptions? Cool. Like, let's celebrate it again.
Yeah, like, if you make a joke about, like, because if we didn't use our last trade exception, if you make a joke about, oh yeah, we got a trade exception, we're not going to use it, like, why would I stop taking your takes seriously? That's just, I don't know, that's just silly to me. But that's why I'm not a media guy.
I think you are. I really think, Tori, if you went about it, you could get media credentialed.
you know, you don't think Joe Cronin would strike that down from the heavens?
No offense, Tori. I don't think Joe Cronin knows who you are.
I mean, that'd be great. I don't want Joe Cronin to know who I am.
I don't. I mean, I'm not saying it in a bad way. He has no idea who I am. I don't think he cares about you or me.
I mean, I'm sure. But if I apply for credentials, I feel like it'd get vetted a little bit. I don't know.
That would be cool.
Maybe I could.
I'll try to hook you up.
Yeah. Screw it. See, honestly, if I had credentials, I wouldn't go. I would just, like, hire somebody to go and just, like, record the interviews. And send them back to me.
I don't even care, dude. Like, I don't care about the interviews. That's my problem. Like, one-on-one interviews with players and coaches, I just think sometimes they're so, and this is bad as a radio guy, like, I think they could be so bad sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I spaced out in the chat. Could you tell?
Yeah, I could, because you weren't talking.
Well, I was just thinking, like, Eric's gonna get you in trouble if I read off Eric's post. Have you seen the stuff Travis posts? Can't stand people who say not to post stuff while doing the same thing. Anyway, yeah, we're not gonna.
That's right, you, Eric.
Trouble.
Eric, you know I like you.
I'm
an Eric fan. I'm a Travis fan. You know what? I think there's really only one person that I'm not a fan of in the Portland area. I think you know. I made a
I think chat probably knows.
Go back and listen to the start of this live stream if you want to know who it is. I made a comment about him or her. You don't know, but that's about it.
They've inspired a lot of successes, though.
They have.
You know, for better or worse, they've inspired a lot of successes somehow. Negatively inspired.
Blazer
you guys
Media
can figure it out.
Blazers Media are weak. The energy. Come on, energy.
He said not all of them, ... So we have
my camera's in the way. I couldn't read that. Okay.
Let me do a chat poll. Do you guys like Blazers Media?
Well, here's my thing, Tori. Okay, I gotta rant about media here.
Oh, please rant. That's what this channel's for.
Okay, so I mean, technically, I am media, right? Like, I work for 750 The Game, which is a radio station in Portland. Listen to us 3 to 6 every day. John Canzano's show. I'm the producer. I am well, he's actually the producer. I just run the board, but I talk all the time.
Ad.
Hashtag ad. Listen to it. It's awesome. Canzano's awesome. He's a great dude. Now I lost my train of thought because I was advertising.
You want to rant?
I want rants.
That is such a media dude thing.
Okay, so everyone complains about the media, right? Like, everyone complains about Blazer Media. Like, all the questions suck. Like, there is a solution to this, and that is for you to join the media. Like, I didn't go to school to be a part of the media. I literally applied for a job because it was on the internet. That's how I got into it. Like, Tori, you started a YouTube channel. I'm telling you, if you wanted to get credentialed, you could get credentialed and ask the questions that everybody wants to know. But instead, we all complain about everybody that's in the Blazers media about how bad of a job we do. Well, guess what? You can solve that problem and ask these people these questions.
But also, if I ask enough questions they don't like, will I keep the credentials?
Yes. Yes, definitely. If you ask fair questions, you won't be muted.
Cronin, why did you lie to Dame?
Yeah, you could ask that question.
I would not ask that. Oh, God. That'd be so weird.
That'd be pretty sick, though. Tory Jones, Blazer Uprise. Yeah, Joe.
Because, okay, like, it's probably likely that Joe Cronin doesn't know who we are, but other people in that room will know who we are and do not like us. That would be fascinating.
Let's see. I see the chat talking about Hyken. I like Hyken. I will say Hyken doesn't give out opinions or anything. He just says what he hears. And the thing about even like Hyken or Danny Meringue, like, they may not be right all the time, but the fact that they do have a connection with Joe Cronin is somewhat valuable. Like, they do actually indeed talk to him. So for whatever it's worth, like, they have that on, like, me. Like, I can't get information directly from Joe Cronin. Now, Joe Cronin may be lying. He may be manipulating.
But at the same time, like, you have to take some of it somewhat serious.
The thing is when you have that direct connection, and that's really the one that you have, it's all going to be his talking points, though.
Exactly. And
remember,
also, I don't like people that are like, oh, I talked to this guy, and I talked to this guy, and I talked to this guy to just brag about it, and that's what they kind of do. But I will say, like, I don't, I'm not the biggest Danny Meringue fan, but I do, like, read his stuff, and I look at it, and I'm like, well, he does actually talk to Cronin, so, like, he can say things that I don't know.
Yeah, but it's hard to know whether it's true or false. And there's been stuff that has just been so blatantly false in the past from, I'm not going to tie anything to anyone.
Sorry, I went down a rabbit hole, this whole thing.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I've talked about this before. No, I've talked about this before on stream, especially like this time of year. There's been stuff that's like been seemingly legitimate, but it's like, it's not like these guys are breaking anything.
No.
That's kind of the thing, is like, it's not like there's breaking anything. Everything is after the fact. Like, I kind of get a little tired of, like, somebody will break something and then, or somebody will report something and then a person in Blazers media will come over the top with, this is also what I've heard and written about and talked about and said. Like, every time. It's like, okay, cool. Like, it just feels like trying to take credit for somebody else's report. So, I don't know. Like, I'm sure there's some insightful stuff, but I'm also sure there's stuff that's like from Cronin or from the front office that maybe is misleading.
Definitely.
Because no front office is, and it's not even a fault of any of those guys, because no front office is truthful all the time. It's actually smart to play the game of chess instead of a game of checkers. The game of checkers would be just saying the truth all the time. The game of chess is, planting seeds in the media and try to talk up people's trade values indirectly. Like, it's a game of chess. And I've tried to explain it before in regards to certain things. It's easier when I have reports in front of me. But that's the thing, is that's why stuff that that is directly from a front office, I just take with a grain of salt.
No, and you're 100% for thinking that. I wasn't trying to say like, hey, this guy is totally legitimate. Like, we should take everything and listen to him, because I don't. Like, I don't take anything seriously from pretty much everybody I hear. So, it's just one of those things where it's like I know that Blazers Media, and I voted in the poll, and it was like, oh, Blazers Media sucks. I voted they're good because I'm part of it, but it's one of those things where it's like, you do take it with a grain of salt, and you look at it, you're like, okay, is this reliable? Is this just the Blazers manipulating things? Is it actually truthful? Because it's a lot of in between. It's not just black or white. There's a lot of gray in it. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Defend my media brothers a little bit from you rascals.
So, I mean, like, Heiken sources, like Cronin, Blazers front office, so is Meringues, right?
Yes.
And Dwight Jaynes' source is Neil Olshey. And then Fentress, I think, just based off his reporting, it's obvious that he is closer to Dame's side of things.
I mean, I think I don't know. I don't know.
I'll just say he's closer to Dame's side of things. Like,
I have no. All I know is like, I know I've seen Danny Meringue and Sean Heiken talking to Joe Cronin on Blazer broadcasts, so I know that they talk to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Certain guys have certain sources. That's going to change the way they report things. But that's the thing is like...
And then it's like you and Eric, you guys talk to certain people, and I talk to certain people, and then you just kind of like... You kind of report back to everybody that you trust or that you like and have a relationship with, and then you hope that you hear the same information. Because I go to people, and I'll hear one thing, and then I go to another person, and I hear something different. So it's like, it's really just hard to do.
Yeah, it's just trying to pick apart the messaging and the two sides of things. Because like a situation like Dame's situation, there's going to be two sides of things, and it's hard to try and determine what is the truth unless you can like logically piece together the motive for the front office going about things a certain way that maybe is shady, or the motive for like, oh, why did Dame just randomly say screw it, I want out of Portland, right? Like, that's kind of like two extremes, but I think here's something I want to ask you about. Here's kind of like maybe a final conversation we could have. and we've already had this conversation before, but I had this argument with a few Blazer fans. They all disagreed with me. But I truly think Joe Cronin was more of a PR hire than anything. Because if it was because of his resume or like what he could accomplish in terms of trying to build a winner as a GM, then why didn't they put together a job search to make sure that they had the best GM for those traits? The GM with the best resume or whatever. They didn't even compare Cronin's resume to anybody else. But also, he is the opposite of Neil Olshey, right? Like, Neil Olshey was, for the most part, like a slick talker, salesman type guy, kind of rough, though, and a little blunt, and apparently an asshole. Meanwhile, you replace him, after all that, with Joe Cronin, who's like a nice guy, seems honest, will admit if he failed Dame like he did, and isn't necessarily the smoothest talker, but he's much more relatable than Neil Olshey. He just seems like a regular dude as a GM, where Olshey was like a corporate guy. I feel like this organization, especially with Jody being as cheap as she was, but still, in my opinion, wanting the fan base to buy the notion that they're trying to build a winner around Dame and trying to be competitive, I think Joe Cronin was the perfect hire for that. Is a relatable guy who seems honest, isn't some slick talking guy, just somebody that'll be up there and answer things like a regular dude. I think Cronin was a PR hire.
First, hey Sam, good night. Thanks for listening.
See you, Sam.
No, I totally agree. I think, and I've said this numerous times, it's very weird to me that they did not even interview anybody. They didn't interview anybody. It was, hey, Joe Cronin, this is your job. And I know that there were certain GMs that were looking for jobs that was working for nobody. They had been a general manager who has been really good and won an NBA championship. That's all I'm going to say. He was looking for a job, and the Blazers did not reach out to him. He has Blazer ties. That's all I can say. I won't say who. You guys can figure it out from there. Blazers didn't reach out, and it doesn't make any sense why they didn't. But now that you look in this situation, you fast forward to today, and it makes a lot of sense. Because Joe Cronin is a guy that, he's worked hard, and he's gotten to where he's got because he was good at what he did. Like I don't want to downgrade him. Like, he was a great scout. He was great in the front office. He was doing all that stuff at a really good mark. But he never had general manager experience. And if you're really trying to build a contender around Damian Lillard, you're going to hire a GM that has experience. And they did it. They didn't even interview anybody. It was just, hey, let's give it to Joe Cronin. And now I will say, like, you look at Joe Cronin, and I'll disagree with you a little bit, Tori. Like, personality-wise, yeah, he's completely opposite of Neil Olshey, but the way he goes about business is a lot like Neil Olshey. It's a little slimy, it's a little grimy, and he learned from Neil Olshey.
Exactly. He was Neil Olshey's right-hand guy, and he kept the status quo in terms of how the team operated with the roster, which I don't think that ownership wanted to change the status quo. I don't think they were ever hell-bent on building a win around Dame. And then you bring in Cronin, and the way everything's gone, it's like, that for me is a big reason, on top of just I trust what I've heard regarding Dame's side of things in this situation. But that to me is like, the actions just have not matched up to the words from the get-go.
And we should have seen that, though. They hired Mike Schmitz, they hired Joe Cronin, they hired Chauncey Billups, all new guys. Like, what made you think that, because they said it, just because they said they were going to build around Dame, they're going to? All three of those dudes were new. Like, you're really going to put trust in that? We should have seen it. We should have seen it earlier. And I'm mad at myself for not recognizing it. And as soon as Dame asked for the trade, like, it all clicked to me. Like, oh wow, like, let's go back 2 or 3 years. We should have seen this coming.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it got to the point where, like, going into the trade deadline, I was just expecting the worst. And I was sitting here saying, like, Jody's not going to pay the tax until she pays the tax. I'm not going to trust her to go into the luxury tax until she proves that she's willing. Because the status quo has been that she is absolutely not willing to. I don't care who says what. I don't care if Eric says he heard she's willing to go into tax. I don't care if you heard that she's willing to go into the tax. I don't care if I heard straight from Joe Cronin that she's willing to go into the tax. until she proves that, I was never going to believe that she was going to go into the tax. I got my hopes up early on, but coming into this year, I just had absolutely no hope. And then, the one winning move that Cronin made was because Dame recruited Jeremy Grant. And he was able to get Jeremy Grant for, in my opinion, cents on the dollar.
Well, give him a little
What
credit
other
still.
winning...
He made that deal. He drafted Shaden Sharp.
That's
right?
That's a rebuild move. Drafting a 19-year-old rookie, like even if it's the right, it's not whether or not it's the right path. It's just like what has the status quo been the entire time has been.
But look, like Shaden Sharp. If they really were building around Dame, Shaden Sharp's still the right pick because you could trade him for something valuable, right?
Yes, but it just comes to a point where it's like there's so many moves that kind of line up with a specific direction that it's like we should have probably stopped tricking ourselves into thinking that wasn't their intention.
Look, every trade he's made has been bad, right? And it's definitely turned out to be bad, except for the Jeremy Grant deal. Like, I understood why he made those other trades, like CJ McCollum to get Keon Johnson, and you guys, we make fun of it, like, oh, he's a first-round pick. Well, I mean, he was technically, and now he sucks, and we all realize that. But, like, I understood at the moment, like, okay, I can kind of see what you're doing. And it all just screamed, again, actions were louder than the words. It's just like they didn't want to build around Dame. They never did.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that's the thing that kind of baffles me is some people at this point still think that they want to or wanted to very recently build around Dame. And it's just like, at what point are we not going to assume that Cronin is 100% trustworthy and, upfront and honest with the fan base or even with Dame when his actions have not lined up with any of the statements he's made? That's just really the problem that I'm having this offseason, and the problem I'm having in debates with other Blazer fans is, like, why does he get so much of the benefit of the doubt regarding his intention? Because his intention has not matched up with anything from the get-go. And I do think that he was maybe interested in building a winner around Dame until this past season. But it's, I don't know. Like, there's just so much mess with the ownership being cheap and selling off. In my opinion, they didn't get back enough at that trade deadline with the CJ trade. I thought Cronin was a little sloppy. Like, New Orleans was willing to trade a lottery pick for CJ. It was going to be a lottery pick if they missed the playoffs. They ended up with a lottery pick and made the playoffs, but somehow, since it got better for them, they didn't give up the pick that they were willing to give up before. That's a whole thing. Like, there's just a lot of little things along the way that just screams like just the CJ trade deadline was a sell-off. They were able to use one small part of that to get Jeremy Grant, pennies on the dollar. Sure, they made that trade, but Dame certainly helped them. And that was basically it. Like, it's just from the get-go, I don't think they were really fully bought into it. And then I think in the last 8 months, they just had the perfect excuse to say, you know what, screw it, let's just do something else. And I think that truly was their intention going into this offseason was, let's just go young, let's do something else, let's move on. And then they didn't want to take the backlash. They wanted to play the PR battle, which they had the type of guy to play that PR battle, Steven, because there's still a lot of people out there that think Joe Cronin is 100% trustworthy and everything he says is true.
Oh man, the chat cracks me up, Tori. I can't get over it. Moragas said Joe has won every single trade. No, that's funny. Umar, I wouldn't be surprised if Cronin comes out tomorrow and says we're still committed to winning with Dame. Now that'd be sick. That'd be so cool if Cronin did that.
Bro.
Just say, bro, hey guys, I was just joking. We're committed to Dame.
Oh God, that would be funny. I understand like Meringue is cool with Cronin, but man, I think we got to be objective. If Eric Brandt was the GM of the Portland Trailblazers and I thought he made an awful trade, I would say I think he made an awful trade. Even though that's my guy.
I challenge Eric. Eric should try to get into with the Blazers. I worked with the scouting department, guys. Like, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Do it, Tori. You and Eric. I need you guys to do it.
God, this just sounds like a headache, man. So if you can be a part of the organization, Eric can become GM, is what you're saying?
I mean, Joe Cronin did it, right?
True.
Eric Spoelstra did it. Eric Spoelstra started in the same job that I did,
Yeah.
And that was the best coach in all of basketball. Man.
Yeah, Eric, it's not too
What
late.
am I what
There
a,
you go.
what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I agree with you. Joe Cronin, look, man, he is definitely in over his head. Like, for sure. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And my problem is right now with the Blazers. And it's not even the line. It's not even the backstabbing to Dame. It's the fact that the owner, Jody Allen, below average, to be nice. Joe Cronin, below average, to be nice. Chauncey Billups, below average. Like, there's no way I can't say he's not below average. And, like, those are the three most important things besides, like, your star player. Like, you need that as, like, the core of your team. And everything the Blazers have is below average. And that's being generous. Like, I could say they're even worse than that. And I still think
I was going to say.
I think Chauncey has a chance to be okay. But, like, there's no way you could rate him average right now.
I think we have the worst combination of owner, GM, and coach in the league. Is that too harsh?
I mean, I want to say yeah, but I mean, top of my head,
who's worse?
Maybe, yeah. I can't argue.
Because people say Charlotte, but Charlotte just got new ownership.
Yeah, I can't
like,
argue.
I don't trust, but
I can't argue it. Like, you're not wrong.
Like,
they're at least bottom 5, bottom 3, and that's the thing. It's like, it could all change, right? Like, if Scoot is the man and Shaden Sharp is a dude, it changes and we're like, oh, Joe Cronin's awesome. Chauncey Billups is awesome. But, like, I have no confidence in anything that this organization is going to do. And I haven't, because they haven't been contenders for 25 years. Like, I just don't. I don't have any confidence. And so it just sucks. And I want them to be good, Tori, and they just can't be. I just want to go to one celebration. That's all I want.
Jacob C says Wizards. I mean,
that's a good one.
That's like the equivalent of us, right? Like, they just traded Bradley Beal, who is in Dame's draft class and been there since 2012.
It's the Kings before they got Mike Brown, right?
Yeah. Although their new owner is okay. Like, yeah. I'd rather have him than Jody.
I think it's okay.
Houston, but Ime Udoka isn't a bad coach for everything that he did wrong in Boston. You know,
I think it's safe to say Jody is probably the worst owner in the NBA.
I think it's the worst ownership situation.
Right.
Partly because of Bert being a part of it, and the cheapness and the trust, and worst ownership situation. Chauncey hasn't proved anything. All that he's proved is that he's not good.
But like, it's hard. It's hard.
It's just a mess.
Chauncey's hard because it's like they haven't asked him to win games. Like, they ask him to lose, so he's doing a good job of losing, right? Like, I don't know, man. I want to say I've seen things, and you've seen things that Chauncey has done that's like, okay, like, consistently do that and consistently get this point across and get your players to play this way, and we like it. Like, think back to the first 10 games of the season, Tori. Like, you were out there saying the Blazers could be a 1 seed in the Western Conference. That's how good they are. And it's like, because they were doing different things, and then it just all fell apart. Like, so that stuff, like, gets me confident of, like, okay, maybe Chauncey knows what he's doing. But then at the same time, I watch them and they're like, oh, this team is terrible and they've tanked the last 2 seasons, so I can't trust it.
Well, I mean, the whole problem is he doesn't like a lot of modern-day NBA players, it seems. He needs his guys, but then it doesn't work, and it's like, well, these aren't the right guys for me then. Like, okay, well, Justice Winslow was supposed to be one of his guys, but he's not good. Like, what? Then he realizes Justice Winslow isn't good, and then it's like, oh, well, actually, he's not one of my guys because he's bad. Well, no, he hasn't been good for the longest time. You know? It's just, what, 1 4-game win streak? Oh, see, this is what happens when we play my basketball. When they have Josh Hart, you know? And then the next season, Cronin says he wants a Josh Hart at every position, and then he winds up with a Josh Hart at no position. It's just, the whole Chauncey thing, the thing is like, he's a little stuck in early 2000s, it seems like, in regards to the way he uses Jeremy Grant. And he's just like, oh, well, length, you know what he said, length bothered me on the ball in regards to putting Jeremy Grant on ball handlers. It's like, how do you watch this dude get screened out of every pick and roll and be behind the play where his length and athleticism doesn't make a freaking difference? And you have, instead of Jeremy Grant as a help defender around the rim, instead you have like Josh Hart or Anthony Simons or Damian Lillard. Like, how do you see that happen game in, game out, and see the guards that you put Jeremy Grant on have big games? You know, Jalen Brunson, for example, had a big game with Grant guarding him, just to name a guy. But how do you see so many guards have big games against Grant because he can't get through a pick and roll before you switch it up? Like, I just, when coaches do the same thing and it's a disaster time and time again, but they still don't change it, that's what I really worry.
And the thing about Chauncey is like, Chauncey has the pedigree of a player, like finals MVP, really good player, like borderline Hall of Famer, won't be Hall of Fame player, but like, you know, you could have made the case. Finals MVP, All-Star,
Yeah.
like he has the reputation to have respect from current players.
But my question is, when have those types of coaches ever been good? Like borderline Hall of Fame caliber players to Hall of Famers, like when have those level of players ever been good coaches?
They usually aren't.
Like
Because
Steve Nash got fired, Steve Nash wasn't good.
Because it's like you said, they're stuck in their ways, right? Like it's, hey, play like I did. Well, not everyone can play like you did, Chauncey. Like you were legitimately good. Like not everyone is, you know, a scrapper like you and is going to fight through every single screen like the Detroit Pistons. So like I'm with you. Like it is tough because like Chauncey should have respect of the players, and I think he does have a lot of respect of the players. Like they respect him, but at the same time, like if you can't coach X's and O's, like it goes out the window.
Yeah. You know what I really... God. I'm just fantasizing about... We're in rebuild mode. We need Scoot to become the best defender possible, but we hide him to put Jeremy Grant on guards next year.
It's going to be so awesome.
You know how annoyed I'll be, man? Like, I don't even care about winning or losing. What I've said this entire... offseason since the Dame trade request is next season is all about maximizing the development of Scoot, Ant, and Sharp. Nothing else really matters that much. If developing them comes with winning games, cool, because that means they're developing well. But I'm not going to be sitting here on the edge of my seat like, please win this game. It's just not going to happen. I want Scoot and Ant and Sharp to do well and develop. That's it. And obviously if Chris Murray played well, Jabari Walker became a rotation player, like that'd be great too, but those three guys developing is key. They need to be challenged on defense. They need to put in situations offensively to make them read the game, to make them think, to challenge them. And it might not be the best situation to win, but it might be the best situation for development. They got to prioritize the development of those three guys over winning, which means starting all three of them, letting them play together, playing them 35 minutes a game, and letting them guard the best guards, not putting Jeremy Grant on them. So I'm just worried that it's going to be a situation where they're not prioritizing that over like just trying to win every single game, and therefore they're going to like hide Scoot or hide guys defensively and I don't know, play Thibault over Sharp randomly, like was happening last year. That's what I'm really worried about.
This is not a year to hide Scoot Henderson. It's a year to challenge him, right? Like I don't want offensively. I said earlier, I don't want to just give him the ball and let him go, which I don't. But like defensively, you got to challenge him a little bit. Like you're really down on the Blazers. We'll have to come up with a win total number. I think they'll probably be a little bit better than you do, but you're really down.
They'll finish in the West.
I mean, outside of the play-in for sure. Like I don't think they're making the play-in. I think they're probably around 30 wins.
Do you think they're bottom three?
Well, shoot, I'd have to go through the whole Western Conference. I think, yeah, they're right around there.
Yeah, because I did a chat poll for my chat, and the majority voted bottom three.
Yeah.
And I voted bottom three.
I mean, because, it doesn't really matter how good Scoot is. Like, he's still 19, so he can only be so good.
Well, how are they not going to be a bottom three defense, And then the offense is going to be worse without Dame. I think it's just plain, clear-cut, simple. The offense is going to be worse without Dame, and they're going to be a bottom three defense again.
I think that's the bet. That's the bet. Is I don't think they'll be a bottom three defense. They'll be bottom five, not bottom three, though.
Well, okay, we're splitting hair. Like what? You don't think they tank at the end of the year and get down into the bottom 3?
Hey, that's the bet I'm making. I'm hoping they don't.
That's the thing is, like, there's some people that think that this team's gonna win 30, 40 games, high 30s, low 40s, be in the play-in.
No.
I don't understand how. Because their offense is gonna get worse and their defense is gonna be just as bad. It's literally it. I think
they could get 30. I think they could get 30.
I don't think they get 30. Is that your prediction right now? 30 wins?
Sure, I'll take 30.
Mine is 24?
Oof.
Maybe 25? Like, over-under should be 24 and a half.
Yeah, there's no over-under. There's no over-under in Vegas because, just because we don't know the Dame situation yet.
Yeah, but chat, give us your win prediction, assuming, this is assuming Dame's not going to play.
Right. Assume he plays 0 games.
Isn't going to change their win-loss record, much.
What, Nikola Jovic is a generational talent, Tori. Get him in here. Total goes to 40.
Dude, Steven, look how positive you are. Look how positive you are. Look at chat. All of them are below 30.
Dang, dude. What is going on?
So, if only Gray was here. Me and Gray have a bet, a $50 bet. I win $50 if they win less than 40 games.
Oh.
So
that's easy money.
Yeah, I'm chilling. But he doesn't like Dame, so he thinks the team is, I think, better now. I don't want to speak for him, but yeah. So
even I would never say that they're better without Dame.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's what he believes, but he kind of acts like that. So,
ooh, should we do a schedule breakdown? Just go win, loss, win, loss, loss.
Schedule breakdown? Sure. We can argue about this. Well, I also wanted your thoughts on the schedule too.
I see Eric talking trash. There it is. Wink, wink. I see you, Eric.
It's funny having Eric troll. He's sitting by a pool right now. Do you see him say he dropped his phone in the pool?
Yeah, dude. That makes me jealous.
How'd you drop your phone in the pool?
I don't know, dude, but I would love to be sitting by the pool right now. That sounds great.
At least you have a hot tub.
Which, by the way, I canceled my hot tub to be on this show.
Well, look at that, chat. Can you thank Steven for that? Because that is quite the sacrifice.
Eric, you're the man. You know that. I know you're joking. Yeah, ask me a question again. Schedule.
Schedule. I'll pull it up. Well, first, do you like going in the hot tub when it's hot outside?
Yeah, dude. I don't care. I'm a beast.
See, I wouldn't know because I don't have a freaking hot tub.
So I'll tell you how I got the hot tub. It was during COVID. During COVID, I got furloughed at the radio station, and so I was getting paid more money by not working than I was actually working. So we took that money, and I bought the hot tub. I was one of those guys. I was one of those guys that manipulated the government like that. I was like, hey, they're going to pay me more money not to work. I'll buy a hot tub with it.
That's funny. Yeah, maybe I'm going to end up moving in the next half a year or so. I'll end up renting a place. Most of the places for rent don't have hot tubs, unfortunately. But
well, my wife makes money, so that's why we have a house. So if it wasn't for her, I would probably be homeless.
Oh man, that's funny. Shout out to your wife.
Coach Vaughan, yes.
As far as the schedule goes, I'll just say I thought it was it doesn't really matter, but I thought it was the worst schedule ever.
Okay, hot take. I care zero about the schedule release, especially for the NBA.
Yeah, I figured.
I think
could have predicted that.
Yeah, I think it matters zero. We have no idea. What?
They have 2 months. They play 17 games.
Well,
I've never seen that.
They're always going to travel a lot because they're so far away from everybody.
The travel's set up for them to travel more, it seems too. They have a road trip. They go to New Orleans, they go to Chicago, and that's the only Eastern Conference team they play on a 2-game road trip. One's against an Eastern Conference team. It's like if you go east, you want to knock off as many Eastern Conference road games as possible because you're already over there. Like, it's just the way the travel's set up is weird. They go to the East Coast on more road trips, and then I hate the back-to-back games against the same team.
Yeah, I don't really like that either. The only thing I really look at is like national TV games. I thought it was interesting that the Blazers are so bad they only got the one TNT game against the Heat, and that was it. Like usually, being on the West Coast, like you don't even have to be good to get TNT games with the Blazers, and that's how bad they think they're going to be this year.
Well, why don't they put freaking Wemby versus Scoot on any national TV? It's not even on NBA TV. They play 2 nights in a row because they have 7 of those back-to-backs, which pissed me off. That's another reason why I don't like the schedule. But they play back-to-back on the 20th and 29th against San Antonio. Neither game is on NBA TV or national TV. It's like they hyped up Scoot versus Wemby in the G League, but they're not going to do it when they're in the NBA?
Well, because they want us to tune into Root Sports where it's so easy to watch games.
Oh, God, man. Like, just everything about the schedule just annoyed me. Like, we have a stretch San Antonio. Wemby versus Scoot, yay, but it's not nationally televised. Then Phoenix, then Dallas, and Dallas twice in a row against Dallas. Like, sick. This isn't baseball.
The back-to-backs is whack, dude. I don't like it.
It's just the same storyline, the same game. And if one player's out and it's like 2 home games against, the Mavericks, if Luka's injured that week, you don't get to see him either of the games. So if you really want to see Luka play against the Blazers in Portland, if you live in Portland, if he's out for a 3-day stretch, you have no chance. I don't like it.
I see go Ducks, go Beavs. If anyone's interested in doing a college football pick'em, just DM me because I do one every single year. It's usually pretty good for $20. Just confidence, 10 games a week. I know you're not into college football, Tori, because you're a weirdo. But if anyone wants in, seriously, DM me. We can take as many people as we want.
Like, I think I might be a little bit into it this year since Washington's going to win the national championship. So I might pay a little bit of attention.
I do like Washington this year.
I'm a bandwagon UW fan. Like, I'm a diehard Gonzaga fan for basketball, and then Gonzaga doesn't have football. So for football, I'm like a bandwagon Washington fan.
All right, that's cool.
And I love making jokes about how they're going to be great this year because then we get the
the Duck
all
fans,
the people
dude.
that are like cool with me. That'll be the one thing that'll get them to start talking shit to me.
Duck fans, bro. Duck fans. I'm not a Duck or a Beav. I'm more of a Beav than a Duck, and it's mostly because I don't like the Duck fans. I'll say it. I don't like them.
Dude, Duck fans tried to run my grandfather off the highway because he had a Washington State bumper sticker, a Cougar bumper sticker. They tried to run him off the highway. They basically tried to kill my grandfather because he was a Cougar fan.
Look at all these Ducks coming in.
Yeah, that's my experience with Ducks fans, man. I mean, the majority of my chat is probably Ducks fans. Like, nothing against you,
Yeah, nothing.
We all,
against
but we all put fan bases in one box, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Hey, I love college football, so I love Duck fans. But I couldn't be a Duck fan. I'm not that. But I'm not a Beaver fan either. So
you know what I think is the dumbest thing? The SCO Ducks thing.
What is SCO mean? Can someone tell me?
I don't know. Ducks fans just say it. We had 2 comments. I deleted both of them. We had 2 comments that said it. Just all one word. SCO Ducks. All one word.
That seems like a Google situation.
Like let's go Ducks, but just like SCO Ducks.
What does SCO mean? Yeah, it's just an abbreviation for Let's Go Ducks. It's
dumb. Yeah, next year. Skozers.
Oh, Zers.
I hate Zers too. Skozers. That should be your outro. Oh man. That should be your outro.
Yeah.
Skozers. So guys, in case you don't know, me and Steve and I had a conversation when we started a podcast. He didn't know what to do for a side off. How did you come up with that?
Do something, Blazers?
Chat. Chat. Yeah, do you know? Or I was gonna.
I want to say it's just because I wanted the
Chat
Blazers
knew
to
it.
make a trade. Like I just wanted the Blazers to make a trade, and they didn't.
So now, is just to still do something, Blazers, right? So what if you don't want them to do anything? What is it then?
I don't know. Just do something. Win a game.
So also like this, side of things with a live chat, a live stream, people will come in and be like 50 minutes behind, and it's always funny.
Oh, I know. I'm reading. Yeah, the Justin and Key. Yeah, they're really coming at me. It's fine.
We haven't talked about Dame for 30, 40 minutes, but you can still leave comments, and it's like live at this time, but they're like 40 minutes behind.
I like it.
So that's always funny. Anyway, see you at Energy. See you later. Yeah, I can't stand the SCO thing, man. Shout out Daniel G. We got a $5 dono from my guy Daniel. What's up, Daniel? He says, okay, me versus Vaughan. I'm the tall guy, takes hook shots, used to do lots. After watching the 1v1, I'm pretty confident even though I'm older and more out of shape? ?
Ooh.
So you got a challenger.
Bring it.
So that's why we need to get like a run, and then like before the pickup run, we can have people challenge. Because people want to challenge me all the time. Now you got Daniel wants to challenge you. I've played with Daniel. Daniel's solid.
Yeah, I'm with
But
Eric
Stevens-
on this one. Eric says those are his burners. I think they're your burners, Tori. You're talking trash about me. That's what you're doing. Those are your burners. We found them.
I don't need a burner for that. I don't need no burners.
You're burning it. You act like, oh, those guys are just behind on the live stream. No, you're chatting in there. You're chatting in there. It seems a clown. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Drew says Gonzaga doesn't have a football team. Poverty University.
True.
I mean, we basketball-wise, we were literally like the Ducks, except less privileged in terms of money.
Ooh.
Because neither of us can win a freaking championship in those
I like
sports.
Gonzaga, man. Gonzaga's cool, bro. I'm with you.
Dro's thing is just to hate on Gonzaga constantly, which, like, I don't even hate on other schools. Like, I don't hate the Ducks for basketball. I don't like the Ducks for football more than I don't like the Ducks for basketball. I don't really hate on anyone basketball-wise. I think Gonzaga's just a sick story. I don't really understand why some people hate them.
It's funny that, like, nobody in the Northwest ever really wants to play Gonzaga because they're so good. Like, Oregon dodges them. Like, you know Gonzaga would play Oregon State, UW, Washington State every year. And a lot of those teams, Washington State, Washington have played the last couple of years, but like Oregon State never played Gonzaga because they just get crushed by them.
Yeah.
But I would love to see a Gonzaga Oregon.
Dude,
the final four, dude, when Nigel Williams-Goss, I was hoping for the Oregon Gonzaga championship game.
Oh man. Yeah, Northwest. And then I finally would have a championship in a single sport.
I will say, dude, I had a lot of money for me on that game on Gonzaga. That game, they should have beat North Carolina. I can't believe they lost.
I was heartbroken. That was maybe the most heartbreaking loss as a fan of any sport.
Yeah.
Like
they should have been at national champions.
When the Niners choked the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, that was pretty damn bad too. Dude, my life is pain.
Jordan Bell doesn't box. Yeah, he doesn't know how to box out.
Oh God, yeah.
The thing Jordan Bell was so good at that team too, man. Like that guy killed. And then he doesn't box out on the final play.
They had a fun team.
Dylan Brooks, yeah.
Yeah, they had the guy I blocked.
Oh, my brother's got a beef with you, by the way.
Why is that?
Well, so he used to coach at West Lynn. He always thinks that you had said something about you always make comments about Pritchard, about how you blocked him.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a running joke at this point. Is he taking it seriously?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it did happen.
He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it that you bring it up.
Good. I'm gonna do it more. Tell him that.
Because Pritchard's his boy.
Oh, Pritchard's an NBA player, man. Like, shouldn't take it that seriously, you know. The whole thing is like that's my greatest moment against a guy that's played in the NBA.
So what was it? You just blocked
like
him?
Joke.
Is that what you did?
I blocked him. Yeah, he drove baseline. I blocked him.
Did he beat you though? Was it like a chase down block?
No, I was the help guy. I like helped down from around the elbow because he beat the guy baseline. and got it off the backboard. It's a pretty cool play. I blocked Peyton Pritchard. I'm not joking about how I blocked some random no-name guy that didn't even get to JUCO level. I'm joking. There's a reason I say I got blocked by Peyton Pritchard. So,
yeah.
But you said your brother doesn't like my takes either, so your brother hates me. That's fine.
He does. Yeah, he doesn't like you. That's okay, though.
That's good.
I love my brother. He's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know your brother, so he knows me, though, so that's pretty cool. Anyway. Anything else you want to talk about? Or we've got 2 hours, which is a little long.
Yeah, dude, I got to go hot tub, bro. I'm
you still going to get into it at midnight?
Yeah, dude.
12:30?
My body's still hurt from the one-on-one game.
Really? I don't buy that. That was over a week ago.
My legs hurt.
Bro, you got to get in shape, man. We got to get you on my VCL team or something. Just to get you in shape. See, if you were in shape, I'd be like, yeah, get on our VCL team. But I'm like, I don't know.
I can go 3-point line to 3-point line. Do you guys play man-to-man or zone?
We play man-to-man. I'm not playing this season because our team kind of fell apart for this season, but I'm gonna try and get it back together. So
see, when I played City League, we played zone defense, and I was the middle. I was just the middle down low, so I didn't even move.
Okay? If you were our top 5, in my opinion, you would be the 4th tallest one in the lineup.
See, I was the tallest on my team.
Yeah, we got
Snap Fitness Ballers. What's up?
So we got a big that's 6'6", super strong, played at Portland State with Ime Udoka, played professionally overseas, buttery mid-range, uses his body really well, really freaking good. I play him in rec league, and he outplays me all the time. He's freaking insane. And then we have a 6'4" guy that can shoot off the dribble, pass, plays freaking phenomenal defense. So it's actually a pretty fun team. Move the ball decently.
Are we really breaking down our City League teams now?
I mean, if you should, I'm making my recruiting pitch.
You want to go? Let's go in depth, man.
Yeah,
back in 2013, my squad was nice though.
We need to get you in shape. We need to get you in shape. Get you on the team. Then I need to then chat. I need you guys to crowdfund me for a cameraman to turn it into a documentary.
See, that's the problem, Tori. We need get one of your fans to record us next time, so Coach Vaughan can cheer for me straight up the whole time. She said she wanted to cheer for me, but she didn't want to while she was recording. I
mean, she would have just been disappointed if she cheered for you. So
she was disappointed. I'll tell you what, she was very mad at me.
She was getting mad at you.
She
said
she was not
settling.
She got mad at me during the game. She's like, "Steven, you're settling." And I'm like, "Yeah, I can't move."
Did your whole family expect me to be bad? Because no, I know your sons. I hit that step back 3. They're like, "What the heck?"
No, dude, it's because they just think I'm gonna win. They just think I'm really good, and so they're disappointed in me.
It was
especially
a learning. It was a learning experience.
I'm not the god of basketball. Damn it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think we're good here. Probably good. Are we good here? We about done?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. Well, you got to go and get in that hot tub. Anyway.
Yeah, I got a hot tub though.
Thank you for streaming with me. In the future, it'd be fun to do some of the podcasts live, honestly, because this was very enjoyable.
This was basically a live podcast version of before pod, during pod, and then after pod.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's fun about live streaming is it's not completely serious, We go off on tangents with chat all the time on random stuff. It's fun, man.
That's after pod with Tori and Steven, that's what we do.
Yeah. Exactly. So, maybe more in the future because that'd be fun just for the Believe podcast.
I tell you what, I'd even be down to be on here with Eric. Even though Eric's going burner account talking trash against me.
I respect you being willing to face Eric. Because Eric's scary. Eric scares me sometimes.
He's a big teddy bear. He's a big teddy bear.
Big teddy bear, yeah. See, good night, fellas. Good night, Eric. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your pool. Hopefully everybody else in chat has a good night. Thank you for joining us. We'll be live again. I'll be live again on Monday, and I'll have another guest. Since Eric's on vacation, we're just making the rounds with guests, so it's pretty cool. Just to let somebody sit in the Eric seat. So Monday we'll have somebody new. Looking forward to them, but it's always fun being able to sit down with you and talk whatever, Steven. We'll definitely be getting more of those podcasts in the future, especially as we get into the season and actually have more stuff to talk about. It's been kind of rough the past couple of months. So anyway, thank you to Daniel for donating earlier. Appreciate you, bro. On your way out, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Probably no content before Monday on the main channel, probably no videos or anything, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know. And obviously if anything happens regarding the Dame situation, we will have content with that. Maybe Eric will be live from the pool. Just this time, hopefully he doesn't drop his phone in it.
That'd be sick.
We made jokes about if he was on the airplane, the trade happened, like, could he stream from the airplane?
He has to subscribe to the Wi-Fi. Yeah, he has to subscribe to the airplane Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I thought that would have been kind of cool. Kind of fascinating.
Everyone just be like, what are you doing, dude?
I mean, if Dame got traded, Eric on the plane.
You got to. You'd have to.
We'd have to. Exactly. So, anyway, this has been Blazers Uprise Live plus Believe in Blazers. With that being said, we're out of here. I'll catch you all next time. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.